欢迎来到308高地，每个礼拜四的晚上7点半，我们都在这里跟你一起讨论、分享，跟台湾相关的地缘政治、区域安全、外交、军事的消息。那我们上个礼拜邀请到好朋友 Tony 跟 Topher 来到这里来聊一聊菲律宾在我们台湾的南边这么重要的邻国，以及中国在这个区域的不管是 Gray Zone Coalition 灰色地带的胁迫，或者在南海在西太平洋地带造成的冲突，那菲律宾的角色，以及台湾该怎么跟菲律宾强化彼此的关系，那大家是一个利益与共。那在更大的层面来讲，我们还可以讨论到日本啦、美国啦，在第一岛链西太平洋，我们怎么样让这个区域更稳定、更和平？所以，我们今天再一次邀请到 Uncle Topher 还有 Tony 来到我们的节目里面。那这两位是专家。我是来跟他们学习上课的哈，可以学英文哈，还可以学战略，还可以学军事的专业哈。希望你喜欢我们的邀请。那我们在308高地所有的donate，我们都会保留起来，作为国军弟兄姐妹，因为演训任务发生不幸意外的时候，我们会全数用在那上面。我们所有的制作成本费用，我们会另外去处理，完全不会动用到你的donate哈。也谢谢你。每个礼拜收看我们的节目，那记得要订阅、按赞、分享、开启小铃铛。maybe 我们可以留在那个有个地图的，有菲律宾、台湾跟中国的地图哈，看有没有另外一张比较近的哈。Yeah. Look at the map. My first question is those military deploy in Philippines.
This one.
Yeah, this one. And if United States plan to do something from those military bases located in Philippines, do they need permission from Philippines government?
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's already agreed upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I fully believe that if China attacks Taiwan, it's gonna have to somehow go against U.S. forces both in the Philippines and in Japan, because they can't win without trying to remove U.S. ability to.
Look at the map.
Yeah.
Hainan Island.
Yeah.
It's China's major fleet headquarters and submarine headquarters.
Yep.
And a little bit north will be Santou. Is their
in Guangdong
South Theater.
Yeah.
Commanding post.
Headquarters.
So if they try to project their military resources from this spot toward Taiwan, they need to make sure, Cagayan and Isabela, Zambales,
yeah,
those provinces is United States military base well located.
Yeah,
so they need to make sure you don't do anything to me. Otherwise, their side will be exposed totally.
Right. So at that point, you're looking at area denial. United States begin to implement area denial. They were trying to deny the area to United States, but because the new strategic relocation and planning that United States have done in the last 10 years to counter China's A2AD strategy, we can actually reverse that A2AD strategy against China in that area.
Yeah, if we talk about A2AD, it kind of try to deny foreign interference. But you are there already. You are standing
inside already.
You are inside already. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, and they can't do it.
So, Topher, what's your opinion about this?
I mean, there's not much that China. There's not too many strategies that China has available. I mean,
the line. The line is China claim their territory water. Everyone inside the line.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
You know, and within this, I know we're talking a lot about the Philippines, but they have bullied Vietnam just as much, and sometimes even worse.
Yeah.
I think Vietnam's had a couple of fishermen been killed.
They attack their oil platform near Vietnam. They attack China. PLA attack that.
Yeah. The first time I saw this map, okay, I was actually in China, in Beijing, in their MND Baiyi building.
Oh.
You know, the line, if I may, the line actually goes down to here.
Oh,
Yeah, I have to be careful here.
No worries.
Yeah, they actually go down to the Indonesian Natuna Island.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's absurd.
It's absurd. And so this line actually...
it's changeable.
yeah.
Well, this is a strategy that they do on land as well. It's called salami slicing.
Yeah.
Salami is like a long piece
Yeah,
of meat.
and cut
They
it.
with each map they publish, they change the border a little bit, a little bit, a
Yeah.
little bit.
I think Indonesia complained, hey, Natuna Island is mine. What do you mean? So this line actually got a little too far north, actually comes down a little bit just off the Natuna Island. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, this is the 9-dash. I think they have published a 10-dash line.
11-dash, all the way
11.
cover the
So
side of Taiwan.
It doesn't
yeah.
matter.
No matter how many days,
Yeah, it's absurd.
It's ridiculous.
it's against the international law.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And you know, since World War II, the whole world, humanity has seen just a very long period of incredible peace and prosperity across the world. And that is because the nations abide by the law, they abide by the world order, and China is stepping all over that. They're ignoring it. It's causing problems.
Yeah, so many. It's not island actually.
Yeah, man-made
island
Yeah.
in this region.
Shoals,
And
yeah.
what's happening now is China using their militia, hundreds of militia fishing.
Oh yeah.
Fishing boats,
The Third Navy,
and little blue men, and their Coast Guard, but their Coast Guard equipped with missiles.
Oh, yeah.
Coast Guard,
Big
Navy,
ships.
Yeah.
and missiles, air fighters in this region, and they're using last week 50 boats, and a couple months ago 200 boats to harass Philippines EEZ. And the Philippines people, they demonstrate a protest in front of China embassy in Manila. So China using this 9 days, 10 days, or how many days to claim this water is their territory, actually angered individual country in this region. Got no friends here. So if China plan to launch an invasion toward Taiwan or toward Philippines, they need to, what they need to do first is to make sure United States will stay calm. You won't interfere. They need to get a green light from this. Otherwise, it's not easy to launch an invasion toward Taiwan.
No. Even if they use their hundreds of militia boats and fishing boats to try and confuse radar systems, the U.S. intelligence gathering is so good from satellites, from low orbit aircraft. It will easily pinpoint what ships are actually a threat and which is a fishing ship.
Does American soldiers allowed to attack civilian boats, civilian vehicle, or militia boat, a militia vehicle during your service in Middle East? It's a stand, it's a pickup.
If it's a pickup that has a 50 cal machine gun on it,
you can attack
then
it.
yeah, if it's a pickup with a bunch of guys shooting AK-47s out the back.
Do they need to shoot first, then you can kill?
Depends on the rule of engagement.
Yeah, kind of like you need to basically feel threatened.
Yeah.
At least the rules of engagement at that time. And there was a rule of law set that, you know, hey, don't ride around pickup trucks with AK-47s.
See, this is, if the war's going on and it's weapons-free rules of engagement, a civilian person picks up a gun, he's a combatant, you can shoot him.
Yeah, he's a combatant at that
If he doesn't have a gun and he's peaceful, you cannot shoot him. It's against law. So same thing you can apply to this thing, okay? China's military militia, or maritime militia, if it's a fishing boat, it's fishing, it matches the role that it's playing. But when it forms up with the Coast Guard's order, conducting a type of operation that affects the normal operation of other activities, I think the world, the law-abiding world, need to come up with a rule saying when you change your role, then you get treated based on the role that you assumed. When that guy pick up the gun, you assume the role of a combatant. When your ship is not doing fishing, you assume the role of a semi-military mission. When you form up, try to form a blockade or pressure somebody. When a cargo ship drop its anchor and try to cut your cable, it's affecting your national critical infrastructure. You're attacking my country.
It's not civilian cargo anymore.
You're not doing it. You're doing a military mission. You're attacking me. Therefore, I can attack you, including sinking you. I think this is the type of rules. Right now, Russia is getting away with, up in North Seas, they're cutting those cables, those Russian ships just drop the anchor, cut cable. They are getting away with it. Therefore, I believe the free world needs to have the policy. If you're a cargo ship, shipping cargo, perfect.
I should bring your phrases back to my committee. If they try to cut off our sea cables, we can sink them.
You're attacking my critical infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
You're attacking me. If you're attacking me with your anchor, I can attack you with my gun, with my cannon, with my torpedo. So I think this needs to be a policy that's publicized.
Yeah.
You cannot surprise them. Taiwan, as a country, can publish a policy. Listen, if you do this, I'm going to do this.
If you damage our sea cable on purpose, then you are the target.
Yeah, and most times those cables are not near a port where you need to drop the anchor, right?
Yeah.
So if you're out there circling looking for the cable with your then sorry, I'm going to have to.
Well, yeah, they're all in no anchor drop points.
Yeah.
I mean, it's published.
It's published.
The ships know that they're not
Exactly.
supposed to drop in. I think it should fall under established anti-piracy laws.
Sure.
Like it's not much different than pirates on the Horn of Africa, or even Houthi rebels shooting missiles in the Red Sea.
You become public enemy. Everybody can shoot you.
Why we discuss about this? 我们把地图换到那个日本菲律宾新设基地移到那边 because this issue related to Taiwan and the Philippines.
Sure.
China using maritime militia, pretending fisher boat to harass our territory water.
Sure.
Territory water, not easy.
Yeah.
In Kimoy Island, territory water.
Because they fake their civilian fishing
They
boat.
pretend that they are fishing boat. We are civilian. We can do anything we want. You cannot shoot me. So this we call gray zone coercion.
Right.
And sometimes it's real fish boat. But within dozens of fish boat, there will be a 渔政船, they are not Coast Guard, some kind of
the administrative region,
something like that. It's like some militia boat control these dozens of fishing boat, like a group. So those dozens of boats, they are civilian, but under control and command by one certain militia boat.
Right.
And 10 of this group will be 120 militia or pretending militia boat to harass your territory water.
Right.
And behind that will be their Coast Guard, Navy, and then push forward. Then squeeze your room to response. If you still serve in military, what's your ROE? What's your rule of engagement toward this? This is very typical POA tactics.
Yeah, right now there's not much you can do.
Now, well, you try to go out and arrest those crew. You have to board them. It's difficult. They'll run away. There was an incident last year where a Chinese
tipped over.
In Philippines, they surround you.
Yeah.
For weeks, they surround you.
That's because there's no a published data policy, because you have to take the gray of the gray zone out of the gray. This is a criminal act.
Yeah, exactly.
This is an act of war. You need to take that gray out, okay? Because right now they hide between that criminal act and the act of war. They're in between. You don't know what it is, okay? So they can get away with it. So the law-abiding world the rule-based world need to come up with a rule on this type of things so that they cannot hide in what we call gray zone anymore, because it's no longer gray. When you're fishing, you're a civilian fishing boat. When you form up under somebody's control and conducting activity that's not consistent with fishing, sorry, you are conducting a military operation, therefore you will be treated as military. If we have to ram
But
you or something.
Even you are a fishing boat. You cannot fish in some
Right.
countries'
Sure,
territory water.
Right.
Yeah, within territory
But they're
water.
using quantity to harass you, to make you do something wrong.
I
Yeah.
think technology might also form a solution. I recently was watching a video about how a company had developed basically very small torpedo drones, underwater drones, that specifically target the engines. So it's a non-lethal torpedo. A small
Only kill
explosion
engine.
head just destroys the engine. I think something like that, which could be very cheap to manufacture, would be a perfect solution. Yeah, hey, you're fishing in our waters.
Commercialized or just new invention?
It was a new invention. I'll send you the link once I find it.
And also another tool that we have, which is using sound wave. You know, the sound wave that drives people crazy. So you can drive them away if when they form up.
Like a rat or mosquitoes.
Well,
Right.
the Marines have this. It's an interesting sonic weapon.
So it's a crowd disperser.
Right.
As Marines use it, and we use it for if somebody's going to attack the Pentagon.
You have that?
United States have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
actually
like a
ready to
mix
go.
of
We should get that.
It makes your whole body vibrate and you can't stand it. You just want to get away.
Yeah.
That type of things, non-lethal, may be a way to disperse this type of gray zone
You should
activities.
provide these equipments to Philippines.
We should.
Yeah, let's.
Hey, all it needs is electricity. You get a boat, you know, any of the cutter can have enough electricity to generate and use this sound wave device. Another thing is microwave device, which heats up your skin and drive people. That's crowd dispersal system. I think it might work for this type of gray zone activities. And Taiwan should get some.
Yeah, we should get some. They're always doing this.
Exactly.
And, you know, I feel sorry for what Philippines they are facing. You know.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. They've been
import
bullied
fish.
so badly.
Their people try to get fish.
Their livelihood.
That's their life. They just try to catch some fish and for living. And China using their militia, conjure hundreds of boats to surround them and harass them, arrest them, and sometimes using their Coast Guard, you know, damage their boat to get rid of them.
Yeah.
That's their water.
Yes.
Philippines, their own fishermen cannot catch fish in their own water.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
So it's not only ridiculous. It's totally bully.
Yeah, it's wrong.
As, as a civilized country, no one should do this.
I agree.
So Philippines under this kind of coercion for the past several years, and their mainstream, their people, quite angry about this. And Taiwan, we are suffer from almost the same situation. So maybe this is something we can work together.
Yeah, cooperate on.
Yeah, we can provide this sine wave. And
anti-gray zone. Yeah.
Yeah, anti-gray zone. So look at this map. You know, 9 Philippine military bases provide United States. And if you look at it, majorly is Air Force Base and Navy. Navy, and there is a brigade of Marines, American Marines, deployed there.
Right.
And Fort Magsaysay. Magsaysay is quite interesting military base because it's old. It's an old one. It's huge.
It's humongous. It's humongous.
And what I know, United States has made Fort Magsaysay become the largest training camp.
It is.
In Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, that's what we do, our jungle survival training and many of the stuff. I've been there once, but I've seen a very tiny part of it because I look at the map. It's humongous.
It's so big. So You know, I have a chance to talk with some high-rank officer in Pentagon recently. I say, okay, Taiwan is not secret. We send 2 battalions every year to be trained in Michigan, in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Why not Fort Magsaysay? The weather, the jungle, the terrains, very similar with Taiwan, and it's close.
Yeah.
It's very effective and in comparative low cost. So maybe Tony can introduce this military base you have visited.
Well, I've been to Basa, number 2.
Air Force Base.
Yeah, Basa Air Force Base is a very good base. United States, a year and a half ago, repaved the entire runway to make it modernized and build hangars and stuff. And we have deployed there with our F-22 and F-16s. So Basa Air Base is very important. It's right next to the Clark Air Base. It's actually just west of Clark Air Base by about less than 50 kilometers. So it's not even far, very far. Yeah, so I've been to MAC-10 Air Base, the down south in Cebu. It's a big C-130 base. It's a big transport base, very big runway. And that will be our, how should I put it, our forward deploy point, where we consolidate everything as they get dispersed, even distributed, because that has a lot of storage area also. And I have not been to the 3 red ones up north.
That's new.
Those are new in the new, and like I said, but I do know that the camp is actually De La Cruz. The last portion of the name didn't show up. The number 8, the Army base is where we have built a lot of munitions bunkers, the new munitions bunker, and the road that goes from there to Lalao Air Force Base, and also Camino Osais Naval Base. That there are roads because your munition stuff needs to go to those locations. So that number 8, that camp is actually a huge war reserve storage location to support any type of war effort in the Philippines or Taiwan.
So this 9 military base, if you look at the bigger picture, it's so close to Taiwan. And
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If we notice what United States have done in Philippines and what they have done in Japan, almost the same scenario.
Very similar.
Distance is short and dispersed, and the pre-storage equipment arsenal demands in all these islands. What's the United States plan in this region?
Well, right now we're hoping Japanese will do more Yonaguni, Igasaki. Those islands, as you know, Japanese are building up their own anti-ship system. Their own Type 12 missiles are going out there.
It's what 1,200
kilometer range. So it covers a lot of stuff. And China's Northern Fleet, if they can come down on the Taiwan scenario, they're going to be faced with a lot of resistance. And of course, Okinawa. Okinawa, in Kadena, there's a humongous war reserve material storage also. If you look at from the satellite map, you can sort of figure out where they're located, but it's a huge area of munition storage area. So basically, United States is trying to help Taiwan on the north and the south. Okay.
And do you remember last time we talked about North Mariana?
Yeah, sure.
Tinian
and Guam. Yeah.
So I'm a student here. I try to learn some wheat from your expertise. Look, now the last time we talked about North Mariana, Guam Island, those dispersed deployment.
Right.
And this week, now we just talked about the 9 military bases. Philippines provide or United States request, for the American military use. And if we take a close look at Okinawa and those islands surrounding Taiwan, Topher, what's the big picture? What's the plan here?
Well, it goes back to that ACE strategy, right? Agile combat engagement. That there's no one big base that China can target to disrupt U.S. operations within the Indo-Pacific region. That they have to target well over a dozen at the same time to have any hope, and that's just beyond their capabilities. I also think it's extraordinarily significant that Japan has a regional access agreement with the Philippines. Yeah. Japan's constitution says that they have
signed
a
some kind of treaty.
Yeah.
They got acquisition cross-services agreement and reciprocal
they can use
access
their
agreement.
Access.
RAA.
Yeah, and Japan's constitution says that their military can only be used for self-defense, that it's a self-defense force.
They just adjust the definition of self-defense
a
couple years ago.
Yes, that's what it's called.
They revised their national strategy.
Clearly, they believe, and I think correctly that they believe, that it is within Japan's self-defense to be able to aid the Philippines. That the Philippines' defense is the same as Japan's defense.
What I realized, Japanese government, they revised their national security strategy since Abe administration to Kishida. And this adjustment majorly talk about first self-defense, the definition. If allies like United States got attacked, they can send their self-defense military to help.
Yeah.
If the surrounding environment, what happening, danger Japanese their national security. And the danger layer they call 存续, danger their life and survive. They can deploy their self-defense.
That's the key.
That's the key.
That's the key.
When we talk about they revise the strategy of the Japanese national security, what is the surrounding environment? Is your surrounding environment including Taiwan?
Well, yeah, between Japan and the Philippines.
So this is the point I learned during last month when we have the regional tabletop exercise in Taiwan, where Japan had two 4-stars participated, retired 4-stars, and that's what I learned from them, where they see their national security now in a regional sense. In a regional sense. This
is supposed to be highlight for today's show.
Yeah, they see
it's a huge change.
It's a huge change, humongous change.
Very proactive.
And if I may supplement what Topher just said, when you say what is the significance, of all these bases in Japan?
Yeah, we will see all these dispersed deployment and all these arrangements. What's the big plan?
So the big plan is Indo-Pacific Commander has his Pacific-based forces, using agile combat employment. When we see a threat, those forces will deploy to all these locations in the Pacific. But his forces alone is not going to quickly win the war. So when we talk about Tinian and stuff, those are locations for follow-on forces from the States, from mainland United States. So there are many islands, including Hawaii and Guam, will prepare follow-on forces to supplement the Indo-Pacific forces who are forward deployed to this particular areas of operation. So, but the long-range forces at the follow-on location will strike, but these are the forces that will supplement and push up. When they move forward, then we dominate the enemy that we win. Yeah, because the initial element usually will just hold, because the Chinese will have the advantage because they are here already. They can.
So you need standing force.
You need standing forces to block it. Then you need follow-on force to knock it out to win. So that's the big picture, and it's no secret. I mean, that's in our documents on the phases of war, how we execute warfare. So that's the importance when we talk about Tinian, Guam, and the other islands that's in that region.
Yeah. So Japan revised their national security strategy, and those who jeopardize, endanger Japan national security, life matters, they can send out their self-defense troops. And according to what Tony just said, Japan, they changed their concept. Now they have regional
interest
concept, because they revised their principles. surrounding environment. And what is surrounding environment? Milk Strait, Taiwan Strait, South China Sea, Philippines, and if we using what they have done recently, sign contract with Philippines, provide 6 retired destroyers to Philippines, try to equip Philippines to deter China's coercion, and to match this with the strategy, the national strategy, the security strategy they revised. Yeah, we know they're big plan. They try to form a secured environment in this region. So Topher, look at the map and look at this dispersal military bases. As a soldier, what's your point of view?
Well, yeah, I completely agree that it is a strategy designed for maximum flexibility on the part of the U.S. allies, well, the regional allies, because it's not just messing with Taiwan. You're messing with Japan, you're messing with South Korea, the Philippines, and the follow-on forces of Australia, the follow-on forces coming from Guam and Hawaii and Alaska. You know, one aspect that we haven't talked about yet, we talked about the ground-based missile launchers that are capable, and the fighter jets, which are capable, and the Navy, which is there. But the weapon systems are constantly being developed. And there's a weapon system now called the Rapid Dragon that the U.S. has, which turns any cargo aircraft,
C-130
or C-17s, yeah, the Globemasters, any of these cargo aircraft are now capable of launching dozens and dozens of
Barracuda missiles.
Become a precision bomber.
Precision stealth cruise missiles. Yeah. Some of these are called LRASM missiles. They're very expensive, but China doesn't have a defense against these missiles. They're impossible.
Their ships will be in trouble.
Yeah, their ships. Now, well, one LRASM or JASM missile, which can be launched out of these cargo aircraft, any cargo aircraft that's flying in between Okinawa, Philippines, Guam, and these are routine flights that are happening daily. Any of these could actually be a bombing platform. Now, one of these missiles might not destroy a Chinese craft, but it can render it out of the fight. Yeah.
So, does China has any approach to counter this?
Their air defense isn't sophisticated enough to deal with more than 3 missiles coming at it at a time, and I don't think they can even detect these JASM and LRASM.
Some of these are such low radar cross sections.
But even they attack one of those dozen military bases, even they attack one of them successfully, it means nothing.
It's nothing.
Sure.
The forces are dispersed.
Suicide.
Sure. If in a hypothetical situation they do a big missile launch, big missile barrage, air defense will first take care of any missiles that are actually a threat. Air defense won't even bother to shoot down the Chinese missiles that they know are going to land off course out in the middle of the sea. So a big percentage of the missiles launched will be rendered useless before they even impact. And the forces will be the American and Allied forces will be so dispersed that the initial barrage won't have a crippling effect. All it will do will notify exactly where they were shot from, the point of origin, making them vulnerable to counterfire.
How will you interpret the statement made by Hexas? Hexas has a tour in Indo-Pacific region.
Right.
And just before his departure toward to this region, there is a memo released to press, to media, and no one denied that. They say they are ready to have a fight with China.
Yeah.
They are ready to have. They need to protect domestic territory, and Taiwan is their core interest. Damage Taiwan going to damage United States interest severely.
Severely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So the Hexas said has a preparation or readiness a fight with China, and at the same time protect home, the territory. How will you interpret this statement?
I think that Hegseth and the current administration knows that the biggest threat to world peace right now is China. And they're not trying to tiptoe or mince words about it. I don't agree with everything that the current American administration is doing, but I think that their approach towards strengthening the U.S. might is a good idea. They believe in peace through strength. That's something I also believe in. I think that it works. I think history has proven that it works. Yep. So I think that his words are something that everyone should take very seriously.
Yeah, I read a lot of article during Reagan's administration. Yes. Strength, through strength, the peace is real.
It's real.
It's real. And just like last time we talked about Marcos and Duterte, different approach to manage relationship with China, and the outcome will be totally different.
Didn't work.
So I want to ask Tony, because Tony, you used to be the officer in Pentagon, and you are in charge of the security issue in this region. What I learned here is, allies, democracies led by United States try to establish a rapid response arsenal in this region, and they deploy this deployment in Philippines. So choosing Philippines as this kind of arsenal center, why Philippines? One island behind, and Taiwan, Okinawa, Japan, Philippines, and Australia down south here. And there is empty, a lot of small islands in this Philippine Sea or West Pacific Ocean. Why United States pick up Philippines as this arsenal center?
I think mainly it's because Philippines has a lot of land space.
Yeah.
If you look at Japan, the islands near Taiwan, there isn't a lot of land space. Although, if you get on satellite and see Kadena Air Base, we have a huge location where we can pre-position stuff. But right now, Philippines, just because where it locates, which is near Taiwan, and also the availability of space, I think that's the key. And if I may touch on what you mentioned earlier about Secretary of Defense Hexas said, we also should look at what Indo-Pacific Commander Admiral Paparo said. He has confirmed, defending this area is my job, and I'm assure you I can do my job. Okay?
He made a speech in some think tank, Atlantic Council or something like that. Last November, and he made a claim. According to the law, he needs to do the protection in this region.
Right. And he can perform that job. Yeah. He's very confident that he can do that, and I think his confidence comes from the fact that he's seen what we have, and he's seen the exercise, and he's seen the coalition building that we have been able to accomplish in the region. So I also have no doubt that if China ever decides to do something foolish, that they can win. The United States will be able to help defend Taiwan.
China cannot win.
They cannot win. Yeah.
And the price will be Xi Jinping's chair.
It'll be huge. Yeah,
if he loses the war.
Right. The political implication will be greater than the military implication.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, vastly.
Yeah. And but I want to ask a question. Actually, a lot of doubt from Taiwanese people. You two guys serve in American military. Will political situation influence your continuity or consistency? Because Pentagon, Indo-Pacific Command Center, they have their policy, they have their strategy, they have their scenario setting. to do something in this region. Will that be changed if the president changed? Or there is some steadfast continuity?
The view of the importance of Taiwan to U.S. national security strategy, I think that's consistent. I mean, I was basically 27 years in the military and additional 7 or more years as a civilian, and went through all these different changes of presidents, Republicans, Democrats. I don't believe at any time that the policy toward Taiwan has actually changed.
The trend.
The trend is consistent, and because of the importance of Taiwan, mainly because if the United States is unable to help protect this democracy, then the reputation of the United States will be so gravely damaged that the countries in the region will no longer trust us. That's the assessment. If we cannot defend Taiwan from China, then we will lose the faith of the Filipinos, the Thailand, Vietnam. Everybody else will have no reason to believe the United States can stop China against them. Okay? Therefore, they will lean toward China for their own national security. So it is, like we mentioned, a domino effect. Okay? United States, ever since I went from the missile field into the Pentagon and learned about these more regional security issues, we have never changed. And I don't believe we would.
So your career, you're 27-year-old.
35, almost 35 years.
35 years service in your government. You are sure the change of the administration, the president election won't change the long-term,
the core U.S. interest in the Pacific. It doesn't change. You might have a little bit of deviation, but when it hit the bottom line, if China ever attacks, I don't see anything changing. The United States will be here.
Yeah, because I noticed Paparo's words or Davis and Phillips' words, and Harrison.
It's consistent.
Right. It's consistent.
Yeah.
No matter who is the president. So tougher.
It's one of the only issues in American politics which both sides of the aisle agree on.
Agree on, yeah.
Right. The defense of Taiwan is not only crucial to it's especially crucial to the U.S., but it's crucial to the entire world. If Taiwan falls to the Chinese, then the entire world's economy and technology is severely hindered, set back decades.
Yeah,
it's real bad news.
Once China control or occupy Taiwan, that means Japanese need to follow their words.
Well, that's just
or they develop nuclear weapon to protect themselves.
And like Tony was talking about, people will lose trust in the U.S. The long-term effect to that is, and this might get to like economic theory, but the U.S. could potentially lose the dollar as the reserve currency if it fails to protect Taiwan. They lose trust in the U.S. military. Okay, well, why aren't we trading in the RMB now?
Yeah, now China becomes number one.
Yeah, so
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense now.
Under the U.S., the word is what is it? Hegemony. Right. Under the U.S. world order, the world has prospered. It's been extraordinarily peaceful. I know that with social media and the news, it doesn't seem like that, but no two major world powers have gone to war with each other in 80 years.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But let me move a little bit deeper. About Philippines.
Okay.
If United States pick up Philippines as the arsenal center, something like that, will Philippines' political situation interfere the constituency of this, 9 military bases or 10 military bases? They stopped that decades ago. And how United States has some kind of insurance policy to make sure all these contracts signed between United States and the Philippine government can be effective in the long term. When you establish an arsenal, storage, warehouse, Air Force base, Navy, Army, things like that. Yeah, United States has proved in long-term continuity and consistency, it's trustworthy.
Yes.
How about Philippines? How can you ensure that?
I read a poll before coming on the show today, and the Philippine people, the Filipinos, 65% trust the U.S. 12% trust China. Right, so yeah, if they have to choose between the two superpowers, in the eyes of the Filipinos, neither are perfect, but nearly 5 times better, right, the U.S.
Yeah.
So I think politically, it's not popular to go against the U.S., and it would be very unpopular to side with the country which has been bullying your fishermen and forcing your fishing nation to import fish. So
yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And besides that, Philippines try to strengthen their self-defense capability.
yeah,
And this military base provided to United States, put those military assets in Philippines, can secure Philippines' security,
yeah, helps with
can
it.
deter those threats away.
Deterrence is
That
exactly
means
it.
their national interest, but sometimes Philippines, they have their own culture, their own political philosophy.
Yeah.
So what you just raised is a great question and great issue. Philippines is a large country with thousands of islands, okay? It is a democracy, just like Taiwan. Unfortunately, Philippines' democracy is not as mature as Taiwan's. They are easily influenced by China. The election interference in the Philippines by China is rampant. China can throw a lot of money, and you saw that Chinese citizen became a mayor.
She is a spy. She's not Filipino. She's not even citizen of Philippines. Just pretend and
operating an illegal business
as a mayor and doing some illegal business as a mayor.
Exactly. You can do it to that point, and you understand
Like a movie.
how corrupt the system and how easily manipulated that system can be by money, which China has. So your question actually should be United States and Filipino government both should be worried, because it doesn't reflect the true leaning of the people, because this changes the entire situation. They use democracy against you, against democracy. So this is danger. Will the next government after Bongbong Marcos be a pro-China government that was elected because of election interference? We don't know. But there's certainly something I hope the Philippines government can guard against. It's going to be very difficult to guard against. I mean, even Taiwan, you see this Chinese influence in Taiwan's own election. If you can imagine a country with thousands of islands.
China tried to penetrate the first island chain, expand their influence in military, in territory. Of course, they do hybrid warfare in this region.
Of course.
They try to influence all the recognition in all this open society. So, my last question, and we will see each other, I hope, every week.
Okay.
But my last question about the show, we talk about this topic today. Papalaro, the commander of Indo-PACOM, he said PLA military exercise join the patrolling activities toward Taiwan is not a drill. It's a rehearsal.
Yeah, it's practice.
The People's Republic of China has embarked on a dangerous course and are on a dangerous course. Their aggressive maneuver around Taiwan right now are not exercises, as they call them. They are rehearsals. They are rehearsals for the forced unification of Taiwan to the mainland. Beijing's military buildup, their gray zone operations, their military coercion against Taiwan grow more concerning every day.
It's practice for some real plan, some invasion plan. It's not a military drill to practice your skill, technology, nothing like that. First, do you agree Paparo's words about this? PLA's military activities is not drill, it's a rehearsal. And what's the rehearsal? The big plan. What's the big plan of PLA? And how the country in this region, including Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, and the United States, to deter this ambition? So maybe Tony first.
Well, it's hard to deter. Their international airspace, international sea space, they can do what they want. Okay. The reason Paparo says that, I believe, is because we do that. For our Pacific War Plan, we do different exercises, but they all are usually a part of the bigger war plan. But we don't want to show the war plan. So we have this exercise doing here. We even have some United States West Coast exercise, actually deploy troops and stuff exercise that is part of the larger war plan. So certainly you want to do those things that's in your war plan day to day, then train toward. When it's real war, you put all these pieces together. That transportation, that cargo squadron knows what it's supposed to do and be able to do a flight of 10 hours that way, even though you flew to Alaska, but in real life, when something happens, it's coming to the Pacific area, for example, tanker aircraft, fighter aircraft, do certain deployments, do certain things, and have imaginary enemies that flies Chinese tactics, okay? So I think what Paparo is saying is because we do that, and we fully expect China is doing the same thing, okay? As long as you do in international airspace, there's not much rest of us can do. So let them practice, but you observe, and I think Taiwan needs to say, okay, if they turn to us, what are the systems that we can use to knock it down? And day to day, you monitor as they do their things. You don't have to have airplane or ships out there every time. You make sure he knows you're watching by lighting up with radar, for example. The radar warning receiver lights up, say, oh, okay, Taiwan's watching me. I think that's enough. But as long as you watch them and make them nervous, and there's not much else I think Taiwan can do.
You know, once I realized through the press conference, your general, chief general, he said there are two guys study Iranians tunnel, the nuclear facilities for 15 years, only study for one thing, and make the bomb. Then I think those rehearsal, you have some certain guys study on this topic.
The China team at Detroit is huge.
Yeah.
Okay. We have guys that study nothing but leadership, nothing but military systems, and it's separating the services and command and control, communication, and
maybe those dispersal arrangement, those military places, and those islands you deploy some middle range missiles based on the study there.
Certainly, and all these places are geolocated, tied down where the Chinese center of gravities are, because every week, and you know this, and Taiwan radar sees it, our RC-135 goes along the Chinese coast collecting. They're not sitting there just to fly. They're collecting all the information. Okay, you know, got an emitter here and who it is, and also other sources from space and from other locations. They combine all this stuff together. So United States does a pretty good job. The Gulf War, before we started January 16th, the ground war, that, you know, we already got every location figured out and which one strike using what, and something else can make that ineffective, or we had to have a bomb right there. All that was already on the target list before day one. You know, so from that, I don't want to divulge classify, but from that you should expect similar type of preparation for such important thing for the United States, that ensuring if China ever do something stupid that we have to win. There is no losing, no option to lose. The United States will win and must win. So if you can imagine the disclosure about Iran, I can assure you the China team is huge, and these are
not only two guys.
And these are civilians. They don't get transferred.
Oh.
Okay, they stay in that position
for 15 years, do one thing.
Sometimes more. The guy that studied the leadership when I was there, he's been in position forever. He can tell me how Xi Jinping started, and he read all the things that Xi Jinping wrote, and the
handwriting style.
Oh my God! So actually, I need to be careful what I say, but we have teams.
Yeah. So
teams.
Topher, what's your point of view about this?
Well,
statement?
when Paparo makes these speeches, he's speaking to reporters, he's speaking to U.S. congressmen. That's the message that this is headed toward. And it's basically to explain how serious the threat is. And it is extremely serious. But me personally, I feel that as far as China's like blockading exercises that they did, these Operation Joint Swords, so far this year, I don't think they've named any of them. I think they've just shown, but regardless, if these exercises lasted a week, I would be much more impressed. But they typically last less than a day. So for me, it's a show of force. It's propaganda. It's bullying. Because China's real weapon in this Cold War against Taiwan and against the Philippines and even South Korea and Japan, it's propaganda. It's coercion. It's trying to use media, free speech, social media to change the minds of voters. Well, like what we were talking about before with the Philippines.
They try to influence the law-making system.
It's a brilliant strategy, and I have to give it to them. Like, if you can turn your enemy's strength into a weakness, that's what you should do, and that's what you do with a democracy. If you want to defeat a democracy, convince the voting populace to vote against their own interests. So, I think on one hand, these exercises are extremely impressive. But on the other hand, they're not as impressive as they could be.
I watched it, Uncle Topher's. You mentioned 5 major threats. It's quite, to me, I think it's the lesson we need to learn. And time is limited. And I hope you two can do some study about our coming Hanguang 41 military exercises.
Right, yeah.
It's our largest major scale of military exercise, and especially this year there are some new elements, especially for cooperation with allies, civilian mobilization, and something like that. And maybe next time I can ask some question, learn something from you too. Okay, and I hope Topher's shoulder get better.
It'll eventually get better.
Next time, do some punches to show us you are better. OK， 我们今天很高兴邀请到 Topher 跟 Tony 来到308高地哈，连续2个礼拜，我们从菲律宾的角度一直看印太地区，美国、台湾、日本，大家息息相关。那个不是谁有事，另外一个人就有事的概念，而是在这个区域，我们大家都是利益与共哈，安全与共。那希望能够创造一个贺主力量。那我们今天也提到很多有关菲律宾的问题，也希望菲律宾的朋友 ，I hope if you are Philippines, you live in Philippines or you are friends, you are Filipino, live in Taiwan, and you watch our show, leave some message to us, and I would like to hear your voice. OK， 那我们今天很高兴，谢谢 Topher 还有 Tony。Thank you. These two good friends, my teachers. And 我们下个礼拜4的晚上7点半，王定宇在308高地，下次再会，拜拜，
拜拜。
欢迎来到王定宇在308高地，每个礼拜四的晚上7点半，我们开始直播哈。那更新我们的集数，在308高地，我们以台湾为中心，关心着不管是地缘政治、区域安全、军事外交种种的议题。那我们会邀请到很多的专家来到这里，跟我们一起分享他们的看法哈。希望在308高地，我们一起关心着我们热爱的国家台湾。那在308高地呢，我们很多好朋友固定每个礼拜都在donate哈，我要谢谢他们。我们所有在308高地的donate，我们一分一毫都不会动支，都留在 YouTube 里面的账户里面，直到我们国军弟兄姐妹因为演训或者任务发生了我们不想看到的事情，我们会把所有的经费都用在唯一的目的。我们不会用它来制作节目，所有的制作成本我们自己会想办法去处理哈。那跟我们同步联播的还有廖筱君小君姐的台湾 plus 是一个非常好的台湾平台，也提供给我们这么好的空间。我甚至于鼓励小君姐哈，应该要请我们今天的来宾开个英文版的节目，因为坦白讲，我的英文是可以听了哈，但我常常担心我的英文限制了来宾的发言哈。那我们今天要用的是英文版本的，待会你就知道来宾是谁了。那另外小君的台湾 Plus 跟我们同步直播，那在他的直播里面，如果你看到我们的节目，欢迎你搜寻王定宇在308高地订阅、按赞、分享、开启小铃铛哈，让更多人看到我们的频道。那他们在小君姐的频道上的donate呢，就由他们全权使用。我也鼓励大家多多的donate小君的平台，因为要维持一个台湾 Plus 非常的不容易。另外跟我们同步联播的还有敬天电视台，谢谢陆总哈，他跟我们同步以外呢，他们在里面所有的donate呢，都会配合我们的节目一起用在国军弟兄姐妹身上。好，我们今天又来到308高地了哈。Today is English lesson. Our two good friends. 我们今天很高兴呢 ，We have two good friends. Always them. Tony Hu, the former Pentagon official in charge of China and Taiwan affairs, and the former general manager of Raytheon Taiwan. Tony, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Hello.
Well, I hope my English won't limit your imagination and your expression. And another one is Uncle Topher. Uncle Topher, please stand up a little.
Oh, okay.
我为什么要请他站起来哈？Uncle Topher 今天 dress very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Dress suit. Look at him. Uncle Topher looks just like an officer in White House.
Maybe someday.
You got flush in your face. 他脸红了。No, Uncle Topher dressed very nice.
Yes.
Very professional suit, and he used to serve in U.S. Army and participate in Iraq War. And you are engineer, right?
Yeah, I was a combat engineer.
Combat
officer.
engineer. 我们讲的兵工，工兵 Combat engineer, 工兵 in Mandarin.
Yeah.
And it's my honor and my pleasure to have you two here. We talk about our, talk about Taiwan, the place you live. And I regard you two as part of Taiwan.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about Hanguang military exercise. Hanguang is Taiwan, the largest comprehensive military drills. And it takes place annually. Every year we have Hanguang exercise. But this year is quite unique and very new scenario we have this year. This year we have, like before, live fire exercise.
Right.
It's not new. But this year we have urban and rural defense. 城乡作战 urban and rural defense. It's very first time. Because in the past, we have some political, we don't do military exercise inside of Taiwan. In the past, the typical Hanguang military exercise, when the scenario reached the beachhead, finished. So we realized somehow PLA may step on our turf. We need our village and city defense project and the military exercise. But in the past, we don't have this kind of scenario for military exercise. But this year, if you pay attention on our Hanguang 41, our MP, our military police, using MRT just underground of Taipei City. It's new experience, new scenario. And besides those new scenarios, I think there is one unique thing happened in this year's annual Hanguang military exercise. It's the length of the military exercise. In the past, always 5 days. It's 5 days Hanguang military exercise. But this year, we start from the scenario 1, gray zone conflict. China using gray zone conflict, the gray zone coercion, causing some trouble, maybe quarantine, maybe blockade. That's day 1. Then that's 10 days. 10 days, 9 nights is the very first time for Taiwan comprehensive live fire military exercise. It's new. So my first question is, what's the difference? 5 days, 1 day, 3 days, and 10 days. If you are capable to deal with all kinds of challenging situations, couple hours you can solve everything. So some people say, why it takes 10 days? But I have to say the effect is so good, the outcome is good. All those reservists mobilized by Hanguang military exercise, there are more than 22,000 reservists participate in this military exercise. I read the post that they posted on Thread or Facebook. They say, it's damn exhausting. It's 10 days, but more than 10 days. Their recall education is 14 days. Shooting hundreds bullets, live fires, and they experience the most exhausting scenario they have ever been. Even they retire from volunteer position in military. Let's say even when they were in position, not like this. 10 days military exercise. So my first question is, what's the difference of the length? Maybe Tony first.
You know, it is a big difference. As you said, the previous Hanguang, it's always been 5 days, 4 nights. The first time I came to Taiwan to observe Hanguang exercise as a U.S. observer, it was Hanguang 18 in 2002.
Oh,
so,
holy. Hanguang 18.
Hanguang 18.
I was primary school student.
Oh my God. So, and through the years, it stopped when I left the government at 2011. When I went to Raytheon, obviously, I can't join the U.S. observation team. But even at that time, because the Patriot unit get deployed during Hanguang, I still get to see a little bit of it. But the biggest difference is, in a conflict, it's very seldom it's over in 5 days. It's always very long. And in U.S. exercises, usually when we surge, we do it 2 weeks. And if you look at the current Reform Pact, Return our Forces to Pacific or Resolute Forces Pacific, that exercise is from July 10th to August 8th.
Wow.
So because you really want to test
July 10th to August 1st.
8th.
August 8th.
August 8th. Yeah, almost a month.
Yeah,
so
almost a month,
you want to be able to sustain that high rate of operation to move forces. And if you look at the exercise in Australia, for example, the Talisman Sabre, same thing. It's weeks. So at that time, I just thought the most important exercise in Taiwan was too short. And because realistically, a comeback troop can hang on for 5 days with maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Okay, but in a lengthy war, you need each person to be able to stay alert and stuff. You still have about 4 to 5 hours minimum to sustain for a 2 weeks period. If it's longer, they need longer. And Topher's being in combat, and he knows resources like tanks and airplanes don't get tired. Just add oil and they go.
Yeah.
It's the pilot, it's the tank driver, it's the logistic guy that moved the stuff forward, it's the people who's cooking for the troops. They get tired. So management of human resources become a challenge because the young people, usually they get so psyched up, they want to participate, they don't want to rest. So as a leader, you literally have to order them, go get some rest. I need you to come back.
But if it's only 5 days, it's fine.
It's okay.
I don't sleep 5 days. When I was 20, 5 days don't sleep. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So Topher has the actual experience going through the ranger school of sleep deprivation and how it affects decision.
Oh yeah, and it makes a big change in how you're able to analyze the situation, how fast you're able to react. Your body needs sleep, and you know, up to a certain point, 5 days, you really can tough it out. I know a lot of people, soldiers especially, they want to show how, you know, tough they are. It's no problem. I can do this.
Yeah.
But once you get into you know, 7, 10 days, you have to have a sleep plan.
Have you ever participated in some military exercise longer than 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Do you have like experience?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can tell the difference between 20 days, 10 days,
Oh,
or a
yeah.
couple days.
Yeah, I would compare the old the old hangguangs that were scripted exercises compared to what
In the past.
Yeah.
In the past,
ones.
the blue team and red team. This second, you're supposed to be here.
Right.
It's scripted, but
Yeah.
now it's unscripted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was a major improvement. It was longer. It was unscripted. I was trying to think of an analogy, and I thought, okay, it's sort of like the difference between winning, like a baseball team or an athlete winning something in a regional tournament compared to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like it is a big
difference.
step, a big difference.
So, based on what you talk about, the 10 days length and the 5 days length, we have logistic challenging
Right.
situation, and management about human resources is sleeping plan, something like
Yep.
that. How to cook, how to logistic. We need to prepare all kind of food, ammunition, fuel, things like that.
Even
And-
maintenance,
yeah.
repairing the vehicle
and
that's broken.
scenario settings. 10 days length and 5 days length. The scenario setting, of course, is different,
Yeah.
and we need to go into some details. And what I want to ask is, 10 days length and the 5 days length between commander, or we call leaders, and the follower, maybe we call sergeant or soldiers.
Right.
Is there any difference?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The commander have to be responsible enough so that he knows he also needs the rest. So
yeah.
he's willing to step down and let the deputy take over. But that trust has to be built during peacetime. During normal time, you have to give your deputy the opportunity to make decisions. Otherwise, when they take over, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So even day to day, I often do this when I was in the military, and even when I was in Raytheon, when there's something happen and I know what I want to do, I will ask my deputy, what would you do? And see if he sees all the angles and train him to make the decision. And when I was in the military, I do that day to day. I'll ask him, okay, this happened, what would you do? Because you have to give the person who's going to step in case, not only because you have to go to sleep, what if you're wounded?
You are ordered or required to train your deputy, or your nature, you want to help people to train them,
Well,
improve?
we're supposed to. As officer,
Yeah.
we always have to mentor
Okay.
Yeah.
our deputy.
So that's some kind of discipline or some kind of
It's
plan.
a leadership training. We go through school.
Yeah, and it's life or death situations. So you have to ignore whatever pride you may have and understand that you're human, you need to get rest, you need to enable your junior officers and your NCOs, your sergeants, and empower them to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
It's called like decentralized command.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't train your deputy or sometimes it can substitute you.
Oh yeah.
ROE will be useless.
It's useless. So Admiral May, the Chief of General Staff, actually said that this time. Push the decision, the authority down.
Yeah.
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 That's what needs to be done, because you don't want everything to say, hey, Admiral, General, what should I do? You don't have time for that during wartime.
No.
Yeah, since last year, our Chief General May, Admiral May, he make a decision, rule of engagement, down to individual soldiers. And the platoon commander or company commander, even squad commander, you need to know your ROE, and you need to train your deputy, realize what's going on.
Sure.
Then 10 days then, somebody may be replaced. So it's a good trend. It's a good project, you know.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask Topher, because you are in a real battle before.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Have you ever been in some kind of military conflict? The longest period of time, how long is that?
Longest deployment I was on in combat was essentially a year, a little over a year.
You stationed there in a year?
Yeah, I was in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. So I went through the actual combat, going through up into Baghdad. I was in the Battle of Baghdad, and then my unit continued up north, and we ended up close to Syria.
So it's in hostile environment.
Oh yeah, but we went from combat to rebuilding. So I saw that initial phase.
Oh, so the early stage for those young soldiers.
Oh yeah,
excited.
Oh, I'll never forget it.
Energetic, and I cannot sleep. I want to patrol. But when couple days later or couple weeks later, those kind of exhausted feelings try to attack you.
Right, it becomes dangerous because they make mistakes.
Yeah, it becomes very dangerous.
We have to watch each other when we're out in the field.
You're tired,
we actually watch each other. Yeah.
Well, if you're platoon leader, let's say, or a company commander, and you're getting a brief, and you're getting your new orders, and you're exhausted. Maybe you didn't pay attention to what the new comm signals are. Maybe you didn't pay attention to which routes aren't safe and which ones are, right? And are even as far down as a driver. You know, you might be an E2, you know, just a private first class. You're a driver. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's easy for you to veer off the road.
People can die.
Yeah. So the 10 days military exercise compared with the 5 days military exercise before.
Right.
Difference.
It's not only double the length.
No.
It's not only double the length.
Different issues.
And we really just talked about sleep. There's so much logistics, maintenance on vehicles, reloading your ammunition, how tired you get, how your eating plan, your chow plan.
Yeah, and 10 days, something may happen. You got flat tired. Your vehicle may be malfunctioned.
Yeah, broken down.
Broken down. 10 days then you are going to deal with a lot of challenging situation.
Yeah.
So this 10 days then, from gray zone coercion to the last day, I think it's quite meaningful. And according to what I saw, sergeants, they experience this 10 days military exercise. They are tired, but they think they are doing something meaningful.
They're proud.
Well,
they are proud.
Learned something.
They're proud.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll even ask the audience, if you're watching and you were a soldier who was participating in this, if you learned something, let us know in the comments. Okay, I'm sure it was a good experience for you, and it was different than what you've done in the past.
如果你有参加这一次汉光41号，你是职业军人，或者你是 reservists， 你是后备军人，你可以在下面留话哈，就是说你参加这10天的教召或10天的汉光演习
What did you learn?
你学到什么，或你有什么感觉？又累又觉得光荣。You know, when you feel exhausted, but you are so proud of it.
Because you pushed yourself to the limit and did right. So it's a pride thing. And I know all of us experienced that. I feel a sense of pride at the end of the exercise, and we were able to launch 230 missions, and even though airplanes broke, we still got up to 80% of launch rate or something. That's an achievement, and I think everyone who participated in this should be very proud, because this is the first time that actually, last year we tried to do it, but typhoon came, right? And it cut short. But this one went through the entire 10 days, and from now on, If you get a chance to talk to the defense minister, it needs to be like this. It needs to be like this because China is not going to be kind to you. China is not going to say, "Oh, time out, 5 days."
Yeah,
Everybody
some people
take a
say,
break.
typhoon is coming. How come you still doing this military exercise? I say, come on.
Real war.
Enemy, they don't give any mercy.
Right.
They don't choose the perfect time for you. They always choose the worst time to attack you.
Exactly.
So our soldier, our military, they do some rescue. I'm from the flood area, Tainan City. Soldiers, they still helping people to for rescue and recover something. And the military exercise keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
You have to.
Good.
It's real war. When I was deployed to Korea for Team Spirit in end of January, February time frame in Korea, it gets so cold and the cold wind comes and snow comes. You know, exercise continue. I was deployed from the Philippines in 80 degrees to this 20 degrees below. I thought I was going to die, but we still have to do what we have to do. So, but that's real world because
That's a real situation.
North Korea, they will take advantage of the cold weather and try to attack.
Yeah.
So you have to practice. China will take advantage. We don't know when, but you have to be ready.
Threat won't choose the perfect time for you.
No.
Yeah.
You have to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
Okay, hope for the best.
Hope for the best,
But prepare
but
for the worst.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah.
You know, prepare for the worst won't come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And no problem. When it
If you
comes,
don't do any preparation, any kind of situation will be the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can they move forward? Now, the length is doubled, but the scenario, we have so many new plan, so many scenario this year. For example, we do our live fire exercise from diverse battle space,
Yep.
Yeah.
from beachhead to in-depth. In-depth using our terrains, using our geography advantage to defend our home. So I assume you must watch the TV or get some information. You see our army, our soldiers defend our city.
Yeah.
They are using containers as a block to change enemy's route, make them enter some trap, something like that.
Yep.
So what's your observation for our very first time, urban and rural defense? Because a lot of international media using the MP, taking the MRT transportation, try to move from one station to the other station. So based on your expertise and what you observe this Hanguan 41, Taiwan, the very first time, urban and rural defense, how's the performance and any suggestion to our soldiers? Topher.
Well, I thought the performance was really impressive. If you told me it was your first time and I didn't know any better, I wouldn't have guessed it.
You are here first year, right?
This is my second year here.
Yeah. Before this year, we don't do any urban defense.
I mean, it was a perfect. Well, I mean, there's always room for improvement, but it was a really good situation of practicing from gray zone tactics to beachhead defense to go into what we call defense in depth.
Yeah.
Through the rural areas and then through the urban areas, the city areas, which is very different than a beach.
Yeah.
Very, very different. And how to use all their equipment properly, and especially practicing the new equipment that's arrived from the US, the HIMARS and the Abrams tanks. So I was very impressed. I think there's always new things that can be done. You can always add to the scenario. There are training centers in the U.S. that use civilian actors in training situations. Yeah. That might be something that can be added into. You could add to scenarios like, what if there's a power outage? I mean, that might be kind of hard to do. But, and other ways that the civilian authorities can integrate into the scenario, which I also thought was really impressive.
Yeah, this time we have social resilience exercise.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. But about this urban and city defense,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not expert, but you know, even you just use your rifles,
Right.
in the beachhead and in urban and in city.
It's totally different.
Even
Yeah.
you try to use your rifle, it's different in a different situation.
Yeah, in an urban environment, United States Special Forces actually came to Taiwan to teach what we call military operation in urban terrain, MOUT. Okay, this is a while back when I was still in AIT. We had, at that time it was obviously highly classified, but I was able to meet with them and look at the material they were teaching, which is tremendous because I lived through the Gulf War when I was in the Pentagon, and we had a hard time in towns like Fallujah chasing the Iraqis, the street fighting, the house to house. So the person who lives in the town knows the streets, and they can set up roadblocks and drive you to a kill zone. You don't know it's kill zone. Because you're searching room to room, house to house to find the bad guys, they already went to the next stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they know where they need to be. They're waiting for you at the next stop while you're still searching room to room. Oh, they're not here, let's move forward. Oh, this road is blocked, let's go this way. They set you up again. And that becomes attrition of you. Well, the defender can hide. Every window is a shooting point. So in an urban terrain, you cannot bring your tanks because you cannot maneuver. You cannot bring your heavy stuff. So the long range stuff becomes ineffective. So to fight in a city is a totally different scenario. For Taiwan, it's the most dangerous scenario. That means PLA has set the feet on the ground and already enter, even though I don't think they'll get to that point. But you got to train to it just in case. So in this case, I see many of that. I've seen some of the stuff that, like using the MRT, because the enemy might not know the streets or the MRT as good as you. So some buildings have underground link to another building, right? So these are the things that a defender can utilize. They can get to the next spot and set things up and basically become a war of attrition. You just get shot at, The attacker just get treated, you know, lose 10 guys, 20 guys each block. They lose a few people every block. So it's a very effective way for defender. In Fallujah, we lost a lot of Marines in urban warfare. And that was the lessons learned where we have a special organization developed how to counter urban, how to get into it. Obviously, we can't talk too much. The how-to is classified. But it is a defender has such advantage.
Yeah, it's the home field advantage.
Yeah, it's
home field advantage.
It's our home field. We know every cab, every transportation line.
Yeah.
So the invader, and that was the role that I was in Iraq.
Yeah.
We may have the maps or even satellite photos, but that doesn't mean that the streets are exactly the same as when you're actually in the
Or
operation.
inside the building.
So you,
Or
when you walk on the street of Iraqi.
Oh yeah, because the
it's
Iraqis
dangerous.
could create a roadblock very quickly.
So when you were a soldier, you notice there is a blockade, a roadblock ahead. Should I make a detour?
Well,
maybe I will enter a trap.
Is that exactly? Is that what they want? Or if you spend the time to,
If I go straight, maybe it's a trap.
both are a trap.
Or booby trap. They might have bombs inside there. I just had to remove it.
So what will you do when you are facing a roadblock over there?
Well, you have to go by the, I mean, every situation is a different one. So you have to be very flexible. So in mount operations, in urban operations, flexibility is key. Mobility is very important. And being able to set up a defense in the urban, it becomes very easy,
So
actually.
it's kind of battle experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you experience this, then you can have your, maybe it's kind of hinge. You realize what's going on.
I'll never forget driving into Baghdad, because I mean, you can practice, but then suddenly realizing that there could be a sniper in any one of these
Every
windows.
window.
Every window, every rooftop is a danger zone looking down on me,
Oh, yeah.
right? I mean, it was very nerve-wracking, very
So
nervous.
Taiwan, this year it's the first time we have this urban and the city defense military exercise. I think it's very critical to Taiwan. We need that.
Yeah.
And our soldiers need this kind of experience to be familiar with your hometown and how to use that terrain's advantage to defend your hometown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I agree with Tony, what Tony said, it's quite difficult to let PLA step feet on our ground. But we need to
Just
do
in
our
case.
best preparation
Right.
for the worst scenario.
For worst case,
You know,
yeah.
In the beachhead, how to control the drone. It's quite different with in a city you control a drone.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it need opportunity to allow our soldiers has a real battle experience like this.
Yep.
So anything we need to improve. You have this kind of experience before.
You know, I wasn't able to actually observe any of the maneuvers or anything. I was just able to see what was on the news. The biggest improvement that stuck out in my head that I wanted to mention comes down to what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. I noticed a lot of the soldiers. Perfect, very important. You want to protect your eyes.
Something
your
else.
I want to add up one question about this. You know,
Yeah.
in Taiwan, because we love to study.
Right.
No, we love to watch TV. Okay. So a lot of glasses wearing on our soldiers' face. Any suggestions about that? Because I think it's quite dangerous when you're doing some combat movement.
Well, you should.
Oh, you want
You
eye
need some
protection.
spatial. Yeah.
Maybe you can get the with the
they just
special
wear
lenses.
the normal glasses.
Even that's better than
Yeah,
nothing. though.
no more glasses, but you got goggles that fits over it.
Yeah,
Fits
and
over
you
it.
can make those special tactical goggles that have the
to
prescription
protect this
lenses.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
can
maybe
wear
next
glasses
year
and
we
wear
can
that.
improve
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that
We
you
have
can
so
look
many
into.
soldiers wearing normal
We do
glasses.
too. We do too. We have special goggles.
I'm waiting for
Yeah.
a picture of it. But the one thing that I didn't see was knee pads and elbow pads. And in an urban environment, I would highly recommend
Wear
that
this.
infantry soldiers have knee pads, elbow pads, because when you're receiving fire, you have to get down quickly.
away.
You don't want to break your kneecap when you're getting down on the concrete.
Yeah,
and you
you-
don't want to be worried about that and get down slowly so you catch a bullet.
So in States, that's your standard equipment?
It wasn't at first, but it quickly became standard equipment.
Okay, I will put this in
Yeah.
a note. I will
Yeah.
recommend our DOD to do
In
this.
fact, on my second deployment to Iraq, it wasn't yet part of the kit that was issued out automatically, but our commanders allowed the soldiers to
buy
purchase
themselves.
their own. So that's something that Taiwan might be able to do as what we call a stopgap. That if the soldiers in their field training exercises want to bring their own knee pads and elbow pads and tactical gloves, I would let them do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do this homework and suggest our
Yeah.
minister. Maybe we can have some subside.
Oh, these got elbow pads. That
yeah.
last picture.
Some special force they have
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
maybe we can allow our soldiers to
yeah.
procure on their own,
Yeah,
and we pay for that.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very cheap solution that can prevent broken knees, broken
Yeah.
elbows.
When you're
Especially
outside
in a
with the
city
grass,
environment,
Especially in the city.
you gotta-
glass.
Oh yeah,
this is-
because it's not going to look in a combat environment. The
all
city
those
doesn't
sharp
look.
things can
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
you.
There's glass everywhere. There's little bits of concrete and shrapnel
Yeah.
all over the place. So dropping down quickly, you can really injure yourself if
This
you're
is a
not
good
careful.
suggestion. Any suggestion to improve?
I'm not sure about ear protection either, but I would recommend if they're not already using it to
You
have
look at
some.
the scene. It's this scenario is to protect the entrance bridge from New Taipei City to Taipei City.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are holding the bridge
Yeah.
this side, try to deter enemy
Get that
that
choke
let
point.
them
Yeah, there you go.
enter our major entrance.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the makeshift barriers there that the soldiers
Yeah,
are behind.
Yeah.
And think, you're taking a knee on concrete. What if that? What if that's a
gonna
long
hurt.
battle?
Yeah.
What if that's
You
lasting
just
overnight?
can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
We need something to protect
Yeah.
You
soldiers'
just-
knee and elbow.
You just want your soldiers completely focused on the task. So any little thing that is distracting them, and if that's a hurt knee,
Gloves.
if that's a cut on their finger, that's not going to cut it. If they're too sleepy, they're too hungry.
But something that, a lot of times what you don't see is the most important part of the exercise, especially now when we talk about multi-domain warfare. So hopefully, within the scenario of the Hangguang, there are cyber defense and cyber offense. Okay, it's critical. You got to have that, and also you have to be trained to conduct long-range interdiction. The ships that's coming through from China to Taiwan, you want to interdict it, right? Joint interdiction: airplane, ships, land, launch together, and you also want to be able to do counter-strike. Right, counter-strike of the mainland places where they're gathering troops, gathering the follow-on forces, gathering the supplies to sustain the forces that's forward. You want to hit it so they cannot continue warfare, right? So these are the things that we don't see. Hopefully, it's exercise. Since I'm not an observer, I don't know if it's in the scenario. So, in addition, Taiwan needs to preserve its forces to conduct those interdictions and counter-strike. So one aspect of preservation, in addition to sheltering, is camouflage, concealment, and deception, CCD. This is an art in the U.S. military, the CCD, and we are trained on it. So Taiwan need to look at it like, for sure, when China come out, if their airplane get through and looking for targets, you need to have something like IR blankets that cover your car so they don't
not a blanket. It needs IR
proof so they don't see a heat source, right? Stuff that make a Patriot radar looks like just a bump on the dirt.
Some generators create so much heat.
You have to have something to be able to do that, to conceal it, and other things you have to deceive it, or decoys, right? You have other radar emitters, make them think, oh, there's a radar there, okay? So they miss the real one. So that portion, since I'm not in anymore, so I don't know if Taiwan's, when I was observing, that was a weakness. Taiwan did not have a lot of the CCD stuff. And like I said, it's an art in the U.S. military. When we deploy, we have those kits. We have the nets, the covers and everything, just so that when you rest, you truly can rest. You don't get targeted when you're resting. You're hiding in the trees. You try to preserve your forces, and an enemy sees you there, then you're not hiding, right?
So, according to your past experience, Taiwan, we don't have so much CCD.
I don't know now because
I don't know now either. So I will figure out.
Look into it. Look into it. See if because that's a very cheap way to preserve your force.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
In Korea, they have some kind of fake HIMARS. Looks like just a real one, but very cheap.
Oh yeah.
The deception portion is so cheap. Even Ukraine has the blow up stuff.
Blow up from the air, and create some heat. For that.
They put a little lamp in the engine portion and have it look like just like a system or gun system, and it's cheap.
I will look into this.
Decoy weapon systems are really, really cost effective. I mean, in my experience, we even had accidental ones, right? Because many anti-tank landmines use a big rod, a tilt rod.
Yes.
And we were clearing mines for the tanks when we were going in through Iraq, and we had to go up and there's a tilt rod mine up there. Oh, go up, just a stick of rebar.
It just looks like it.
But everyone was stopped. The entire convoy stopped because of a stick of rebar.
Okay, so it's very useful.
It's very useful.
It can be very useful. Yeah,
very
imagine how effective decoy landmines would be. I know Taiwan has the volcano system.
That's what I just want to say. When I forgot it's day 5 or day 6.
Right.
When China launched amphibious attack toward Taiwan.
Right.
In Taiwan, we can see our Navy, they deploy the sea mines. And we have volcano system. That means 10 minutes, you can deploy 960 anti-tank mine
Yeah.
within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the fleet, amphibious fleet from China toward Taiwan, it takes at least 5 hours.
Yeah.
That means I can deploy sea mine on the direction you are sailing to, and the beach we can deploy the anti-tank mine. Even I deploy the wrong side, I can change it very quick. 10 minutes. You take 5 hours for you sail from China to Taiwan, and only take 10 minutes. I can deploy 960 anti-tank landmine.
Right.
So we have volcano system like
Yeah.
that.
It's
So if
excellent.
we have some decoy, some fake
Oh,
mine,
yeah.
then if you were a commander of PLA,
You have to worry about that. Yeah.
You
You don't know.
you have
You're
to you have to stop.
Stop.
Yeah,
and then
you
you
have to
stop.
stop
You
and
become a
check.
sitting duck for
Exactly.
HIMARS or
Exactly.
rocket.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
helicopter with hellfire.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, absolutely. This for defender, those decoy stuff is so effective
Yeah.
in delaying the enemies.
And especially decoy weapon systems like Patriot or Sky Swords, you know, these high value targets for China.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to want to kill as many Patriot and air
Yeah.
defense
Yeah.
systems as they possibly can. Well, if they're wasting missiles on aluminum boxes that have a generator, you know, a
if
heat
they are
shield.
using their missiles to attack our decoy,
Right.
first, waste their equipment and money.
Sure.
Second,
Exactly.
we can find out where is the launch pad.
Sure.
And we can launch our counter
Exactly.
attack. So
Yeah.
this CCD stuff,
It's very important
I
because
promise you, I will look into
you
it.
should look
I talk
anyway,
with our
because China is going to deploy UAVs to look for targets. UAV can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy over there in mainland China. Oh, okay, there is a Patriot.
There's a Patriot. There is a HIMARS.
Let's
load.
launch. You know.
And then
yeah.
when they launch, we can counterattack that.
Counterattack, you see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and they can be made really well. You know, it can be used to even fool the fifth column.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right now, Ukraine is making really great artillery pieces using plastic tubes.
Yeah. They
You
shoot
know,
out fake smoke
yeah.
and everything.
Trust me, Taiwan, we are very good at manufacturing
sure.
toys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. You can do this.
Taiwan
Just a
used
big
to
toy.
be the kingdom of toy manufacturer, better than semiconductor.
Yep.
So we are good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
But well, I need to figure out if our DoD has this kind
look
of
into
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes if even PLA, they realize you have this kind of CCD stuff,
That's okay.
they can do nothing because
That-
they need to figure out which one
Which
is
one's real?
Yeah.
So it's
It
good.
still has the effect. You know, even if
Yeah.
they don't find it.
So I want to move forward
Okay.
about our topic. Those in Taiwan we have a joke. So we have so many English teacher here now. Not Topher. Topher is real English teacher, but now he is a full-time YouTuber. No, for the past decades, I have to say, not so many young, muscled English teachers show up in Taiwan. But for the past 5 years,
a lot.
when you're on the high-speed rail, you can see a lot English teacher, very strong English teacher. Young,
Short hair.
Yeah, short hair, and young men and women and come to Taiwan. And this Hangguang 41, my first question is, they don't want to conceal themselves. You know, in the past, Tony knows that. The first time I met Tony in some high mountain, long-range radar station, we cannot reveal those photos we have together.
Right.
We need to. It's classified. It's confidential.
Yeah.
But now this time, at least 400 foreign American instructors come to Taiwan. They are here, and they are willing to be seen. Why?
Yeah.
What's the situation? Maybe Tony can answer this question because
think-
he used to work in
Right.
AIT, right?
I think we no longer care what China thinks.
Yeah.
Before we were so careful.
Or this kind of clarity is kind of signal
Yeah,
conveyed
I
to
think
China.
So. I think so. It is a signal because as China becomes more aggressive, you have to increase your deterrence. And this is also a message. When I was coming here every year, we have about 50 observers, okay? Now it's 400. Not only because now it's 10 days, 24 hours. It wasn't that long before. And a lot of times we work about 12 hours, and at nighttime we know not much is going on. Observer go home, we go back to the hotel and rest, come back. And but now they have to cover that 24 hours too.
They were in field with our
absolutely.
With our soldiers.
Absolutely.
Before we didn't do that. Before we will observe and we get treated very well, and
in the past, Tony is observer in 5-star hotel, but now those 400 soldiers, they are observer in field.
They're out there in the field with the team, and we had guys on the ships, but stay on the ships too at that time. But now I'm sure they do also. But I'm so happy to see this. Not only because they're observing, providing ideas, but they also gain an understanding of Taiwan's military.
Yeah.
That was one portion I was so worried about for our own troops, because we have joint exercise with Japan, Korea, Philippines, Thailand, Singapore. We work together, fight together, but we never do that with Taiwan. Every one of these guys are military active duty, right? Just in case one day they have to come to Taiwan, okay, and try to fight to defend Taiwan's democracy. They've been here.
Yeah.
They see the terrain.
They see the terrain. They have friends here. They have contact here,
exactly.
And they know the skill and the strategy tactics here.
So it's a win-win. It helps Taiwan observe and look at what's good, what needs to be improved, and also it gives them knowledge that might become useful just in case China does something stupid. So I'm so happy to see it from the American side of the point of view, because that was what I always worry about. You bring an observation team. How many people been to Taiwan before? Me and one other guy, 2 guys out of 50 or something. So now you see all these people, and it's possible maybe 20 of them, 30 of them out of the 400 next time will have been here before, and the other people all get more knowledge about Taiwan. This will be good for the U.S. because the more we know about Taiwan, the more effective we will be. And these guys look like Major, Lieutenant Colonel age, the leadership positions, and obviously we have different. We might even have sergeants.
We have different branches.
Yeah, different branches, and so this is really wonderful to see.
Yeah, and do you expect there will be more in the future?
I don't know. See, it's scenario dependent. Before we come, we already know what are the key observation scenarios. We don't know what exactly is going to happen, but we need the right expert, because you cannot see the whole spectrum of scenario. I mean, we're going to bring a few thousand people, right? So you key on certain scenario that the Chief of General Staff wants to have observed, or something that the United States is interested in seeing. So that's where you task out, because the observers come from all over the United States. The observer, because remember, U.S. military's job is defend the United States.
Yeah.
So unit have to be willing to spare a guy. The commander of that unit have to be willing to spare a guy to join the observation team to go to Taiwan. He has to make sure his primary mission is covered. So all of these guys are deployed from a unit where the commander say, okay, I can have this guy gone for 2 weeks, I can cover. Okay, so they'll come from all over. So if you want to cover this scenario, you go to this kind of unit, say, I need a guy who do this. I need a guy who do this, to all the different bases that does that. That's how you put together. So the observation team, we don't have a team that's ready to go. We have a team that we have to assemble. Then we do pre-deployment briefing. We go to Taiwan, watching hand-gun exercise, and these are the things that I want you to pay attention to. Then we'll come to Taiwan. Yeah, so it's not an easy task, because especially 400. I mean, I can't imagine trying to put 400 people team
Maybe
together.
Maybe 400 more. But I would like to ask Topher.
Right.
How difficult it could be to fight with, to fight with a stranger. Your allies, you don't know them, you don't realize their tactics, you don't realize the terrain situation, and we just deploy you and your unit to some country totally stranger to you.
Well, I have a lot of experience with that, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of challenges. Obviously, there's the language barrier, right? But just as important, maybe even more important, is the cultural barrier that exists. And I think as much experience that you can have working alongside each other to try and understand each other and understand this is the mission, this is our goal, all right, maybe we're taking a different path to the same endpoint, but as long as we have good communication and we're trying not to step on each other's toes.
You need to communicate with them first and realize what are you talking about, and trust. No, Korea War.
Right.
United States, your division, your brigade, just give order, let's move forward. And 2 days later, South Korea troops collapsed. Right. And you don't know they collapsed so fast. Then you become isolated in front. That's Korea War experience, because you don't realize your allies' capability, how capable they are.
Yeah.
You just give orders, then you enter your position, certain position. You are there, but they won't. Then you are isolated.
And different allies can have completely different motivations. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor here in Taiwan. It was a big factor in Iraq. A lot of different ethnic groups. None of them liked each other. You know, the Kurds had different goals compared to the Shiites, compared to the Yazidis. So it became very confusing. I think it's going to be a lot more clear cut here in Taiwan, any cooperation. But good communication is essential, and taking the time to try and understand each other's cultural, the differences involved in doing business. You know, the U.S. military is much more direct. If you've screwed up, if you've made a mistake, maybe not in public, but your commander will pull you aside and say, hey, you need to do. I think from my experience in Taiwan, if you've made a mistake, that won't necessarily happen. They may tell a friend to tell you, so it takes a little bit round, but you'll save face in that respect. So those types of small challenges can be understood here.
Yes, you know, there are a lot of things meaningful happening right now. For example, 2 years ago, Taiwan started to send 2 battalions each year to United States. To be trained by United States in Michigan or Hawaii. And we hire so many instructors, they just newly retired from United States military, come to Taiwan as instructors. And we have a lot of project we call bilateral training program to train our even compulsory service soldiers, 1 year soldiers, they adopt this kind of training program. And last year, we even have a brigade sent to United States to join a multilateral military exercise, increase the experience, fight with your allies, and enhance the communication system, and training our language English capability. So those preparation is for a battle fight with your allies. So that I think that meets what Topher said.
After all, let's just be clear. There's one common enemy, right? For Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, and even Australia. Now that China have circumnavigated and did a live fire at its front door. So it's pretty clear. China is the one, and if that's the case, no matter where China makes trouble, in the East Sea, in the Taiwan Strait, in South Sea, in the Philippine Sea, wherever, all the allies should come together and respond.
But even he is crazy enough to do this, we have backup plan.
Sure.
To solve this kind of blockade.
You know, you're absolutely correct there. I'm sure that the U.S. has several different plans on what to do if China actually attempts a blockade. And it's a real stupid move on China's part, because it's a lose-lose for them.
It's a lose-lose.
Right? they either enter into a war that they're going to absolutely lose, a hot war, where their navy will be destroyed within a week, or they have to break the blockade, let the U.S. break through the blockade, and they lose face.
And be embarrassed.
And be embarrassed, right, on the world stage.
Yeah.
各位筱君台湾 plus 的观众朋友，大家好。今天我想跟大家分享一下，这个从7月13号到27号，在澳洲北部相关的区域进行的护身军刀的演习。其实，在前1、2集我也提到这个演习啊，那个演习的时间是非常长的啊。第一个，它的演习范围是从这个澳洲北部的所谓的圣诞岛，一直延伸到东部的有个珊瑚海啊，就横跨了印度洋到太平洋然后接连不同的这个岛屿。那这个地方呢，当然就连接了很多这个西南太平洋的国家啊。那尤其在这次演习里面这个动员这个19个国家大概接近3万人的这个部队参与而且前2天我看到媒体的报道前2天主要是这个飞弹或者是长程火箭的这个演习。我们知道这次这个护身军刀里面有一些武器的这个射击譬如说像海马斯澳洲也跟美国买了海马斯火箭。那在这次演习里面也试射火箭。那无独有偶的呢我们看到上次这个美国在菲律宾演习的时候也试射了海马斯火箭。那另外台湾在汉光演习之前也进行了海马斯火箭的演习你就可以看得出来美国出售的这一款这个长程的火箭系统不论是台湾、菲律宾或者澳洲这一阵都进行这个实弹演习，而且这型的火箭呢美国也卖给这个乌克兰，然后在乌克兰战场上面有很大的发挥。那第二个在护身军刀演习里面呢日本的124的反舰飞弹就是这个也在这个演习里面进行这个实弹射击这很有趣你看124的这个反舰飞弹日本它部署在熊本的海边，也部署在西南诸岛。西南诸岛就是沿着琉球群岛一直往台湾延伸靠近台湾这附近的这个岛屿叫西南诸岛那在这里部署那这些反舰飞弹的这个发射跟使用，很明显的就是在岛屿或者是在海边进行制海作战使用的。那除了这个之外呢这个美国也进行标准6型的这个防空飞弹的这个射击那主要是防空那除了这个之外，譬如说像全国的空防的这个系统就 NASAM 这个系统也在这次演习里面来进行演练那这些不同的这个武器系统演练这个相关的演习科目其实跟上次在菲律宾是差不多的那我们先讲讲说参与这个演习19个国家里面它主要来自欧洲英国啦、法国啦等等那有一些是来自这个东南亚国家那尤其是东南亚国家的汶莱、越南跟马来西亚这次是演习的观察员的国家。那很巧的，这3个国家都是南海周边区域的国家，再加上原来的菲律宾跟印尼，它本来就有参加这次演习的所以你可以说这个南海周边国家属于东盟东协或者是东南亚的几乎都参与了只不过有些是正式参与，有的是观察国那另外当然还有一些东北亚的一些相关的这个美国的盟国像日本、韩国等等也参加了那这次这个动员部队那么多，当然就是有一些是海上的实弹射击，或者是这个防空飞弹，或者是反舰飞弹的射击等等那这次的这个演习呢，是继2023年以来这个人数最多的一次那也凸显了这个各个国家对这区域的这个关注了那我们也看到在这个演习里面这个澳洲自己本身的这种角色变化也其实很值得注意的我们知道在2次大战的时候太平洋战争澳洲几乎成为战场因为 这个日本啊采取这个南进策略啊，他占领了菲律宾然后沿着这个太平洋，然后一直占领到这个西南太平洋国家啊，一直到这个新几内亚、纽几内亚巴布亚纽几内亚这个国家啊。那后来正当要这个侵略这个澳洲的时候呢因为那时候这个麦克阿瑟在澳洲，然后带领了这个美国军队跟澳洲军队反攻后来用跳岛战术逐步的这个收复了菲律宾，后来琉球那到反攻日本本土的时候呢后来美国发展成原子弹，所以丢了2颗原子弹以后呢，就结束了这个太平洋战争那但是从那之后呢，这个澳洲好像并没有面临这个直接性的这个军事威胁。我们知道美国当他的这个陆战队要从日本琉球撤离的时候他第一个想到是撤到关岛，或者是撤到这个澳洲那撤到达尔文港附近那现在呢我们看到这个澳洲这几年的这个演习好像这个越来越频繁了然后其实也就是在中国的这个军队尤其海军它向外扩张，或者是呢接连的对这个夏威夷附近的海域，或者是在澳洲跟纽西兰之间海域进行实弹演习之后已经让这个澳洲觉得这个军事威胁越来越迫近了但是即使如此过去澳洲是扮演着这个协助美国的这个角色他并不愿意成为这个第一线直接介入的这个国家但是从这次演习我们看到这个沿着南海周边国家都参与那也证明说其实未来这个澳洲对于南海的议题它是非常关注的跟以前一样只不过对于台海的议题在台海议题方面我们看到美国的这个国防部的次长这个柯伯吉然后要求这个日本跟澳洲要表态但是这个澳洲的不论是国防部长或者是澳洲的首相，好像都不愿意澳洲未来在台海冲突里面扮演什么样的角色来加以表态那当然这一方面是战略模糊了但是另外一方面表示说其实这个澳洲好像并不愿意直接被认定为他就是要抗衡中国，或者是可能跟中国爆发冲突跟战争那他还是希望扮演这种辅助性或者是后勤性的这个角色所以他的角色来讲是还没有产生很具体的这个变化的。那另外呢就是除了他扮演这个安全角色之外从过去这个美国只要有任何的这个冲突跟战争澳洲一定会参与。那澳洲参与呢，通常都是派一些部队然后协助这个美国那现在要叫他担任第一线的这个主战的这个部队他其实有所保留的。那当然第二个我刚才前面提到说由于中国的这个军事扩张，或者是中国在这个区域演习是越来越迫近这个澳洲他过去扮演这个辅助性的角色，所以他的军事现代化迫切性没那么高。但是紧接着面临中共的这个威胁冲突，或者是中国的飞弹或者是海军可能更加前进到这个太平洋的这个东部以后呢澳洲它有必要提升它的军力，尤其是海军或者是空军因为它的陆军呢也许就是在地面戍守但是目前应该不会有哪个国家这个要登陆这个澳洲或者是占领澳洲，所以它的海空军变得非常重要那它也需要这个购买这个先进的武器系统来强化它的海空军的战力。那我们知道这个澳洲跟英国跟美国建立了所谓的澳英美的这个同盟叫 AUKUS然后这个 AUKUS 呢其中最重要的就是三国合作要兴建核动力潜舰那这个核动力潜舰呢那当然就能够让这个澳洲显著的提升。它现在克林级的这个潜舰已经有点旧了那它有核动力潜舰之后呢因为这个潜舰可以潜航非常久的时间可以这个投射距离非常远。那过去呢本来就是必须负责南海，那现在呢因为它有核动力潜舰之后呢它应该可以到 譬如说台湾的东部海域，或者是甚至到东海等等啊，来协助执行一些相关的任务啊。所以这种情况之下，它当然这个军备的提升、迫切性增加，尤其核动力潜舰。那刚才前面提到说，美国要求这个澳洲表态啊，当台海发生冲突的时候，你扮演的角色是什么？其实某种程度就是在考量，如果现在美英澳它所新建的这个核动力潜舰啊，那如果给了澳洲，但是澳洲并没有办法使用这些核动力潜舰去协助维护南海、台海或者东海的安全，那在目前美国缺乏新一代的或新型的这个核动力战术潜舰的情况之下，美国就主张说，先不要给澳洲，而是优先给美国啊。那他会有这样的这个考量的啊。那当然，这个澳洲他也必须是要思考的是，这个介入台海冲突跟军备的这个性能提升虽然并不是一件事情啊，但是如果是一件事情，那当然可以让你兼具这个同盟国家之间的信任，让你兼具的你自己本身的这个军备主要军备的这个提升啊。那第三个就是说，从这次的这个19国的这个演习来看啊，那即使这个澳洲并不愿意承诺说在台海冲突它要扮演什么样的角色，但是它现在联合了这个不管是欧洲或者是东协国家，或者是南太平洋国家或者东北亚国家来一起进行联合演习，希望能够建构成这个民主同盟，然后强化这些国家之间的合作，然后这个建立强大的嚇阻的能力啊，这点大概是毋庸置疑的啊。那要结合成一个民主同盟国家，那当然这个联合演习就变得非常重要那这次演习它当然不是新增的演习它不是说这个因这样的这个状况，所以重新建立一个平台或怎么样的这个机制，而是将过去的这个护身军刀演习它的规模它的演习的内容与时俱进，来针对这个澳洲或者是区域的盟国可能面临的状况或者是考量最近的这个军事发展然后它所兴起的这个不管是战术战法或者是军事科技的这个革命来进行演练那就变得非常重要那刚才提到说海马斯火箭在乌克兰战场上的运用然后这个美国在菲律宾的这个演习也使用那台湾也使用所以怎么样结合这些远距精准的打击武力再加上太空科技、卫星情报的应用，然后形成一个整合性的这个作战系统，那当然变得非常重要。那我们知道这个美国在乌克兰战争它主要是透过这个多域特遣队的这个方式来执行。那美国现在有3个这个多域特遣队旅它是旅级的单位那第3个呢，主要是负责亚太，而且它部署在这个夏威夷那这种作战的形态呢，不外乎就是你怎么样整合情报、太空监侦远程打击武力，然后情报收集然后所形成的这种多域作战的模式那从这次演习里面不论是这个情报的整合，或者是远距打击武力的这个射击等等其实已经看得出来在这次演习里面美国它想要使用所谓的第3多域特遣旅特遣队协助作战的方式来训练或者让这个周边的这个民主国家能够熟悉这样的这个作战方式所以怎么样透过这个大型的联合演习，然后把新的作战概念、新的科技或新的武器融到其中，那就变得非常重要那当然从这个演习里面我们也看到一些趋势这趋势是说或许是因为这个澳洲它的本身的这个现在的这个政府并不像上一任的政府那样这个比较靠向美国的这个国防政策那它会比较偏重这个考量中国对澳洲的一些相关的利益但基本上 澳洲是非常关注这个台海安全啊，因为台海安全当然如果爆发台海安全的这个冲突啊，台海的冲突啊，对区域或对全世界来讲都会造成影响啊。但是澳洲这样的这个态度不表示说他承诺啊，如果台海发生冲突他会介入啊。那当然会不会介入怎么样介入啊？那当然就是美国跟澳洲自己本身的这个事情。但是如果澳洲明显表态不介入，那他自己本身的军备发展可能就会受到影响啊。但这可以看到，这个澳洲目前对要更多的付出或更多的在国防方面的这种强化用在这个台海或者是其他可能爆发冲突的区域里面他这个承诺是还没有确定可能是等到最坏状况发生的时候再决定那但是也可能是这个现在这个状况还没到，先保留这个战略的主动跟弹性，等到事情发生以后他再来做决定。但是已经朝这个最坏的状况做准备那护身军刀演习就是一种最坏状况的这个准备那第二个呢，就是因为他的战场不只是这个兵力投射到南海、台海等等相关的区域，那也有可能这个冲突或战争扩展到整个南太平洋或者是澳洲周边的附近的这个区域里面。所以澳洲怎么样提升自己本身的军力，或者是让自己本身的这个兵力投射能够涵盖这个澳洲本身在这区域里面的这个利益范围，那就变得非常重要的那当然就不只是澳洲而已因为它要兼顾的这个平时跟战时的各种状况。我们知道中共透过这个"一带一路"的这个方式这个跟很多南太平洋国家建交，那建交以后呢，它其实就是以这个协助新建关键基础设施不论是这个港口或者是机场的这个方式来强化跟这些国家的关系。但是帮助新建这些机场跟港口呢，当然不是免费的午餐它会第一个就是有高额的利息，但是当这些国家没办法付出高额利息的时候呢，中国就会承租就具有这个港口跟机场的这个使用权或者是管理权那这样呢，距离这个中国要在这个地方来兴建这个海外的军事基地，其实就是一步之遥的那这种情况之下，当然澳洲它也结合了这个其他国家，希望能够协助这个南太平洋国家来强化他们的基础建设那我们知道，在去年的这个跨的这个高峰会里面就已经提到说这个印度跟澳洲、日本、美国等几个国家要合作要协助这个南太平洋国家的海底电缆的建设那这海底电缆当然就涉及到通信或者是这个网路等等那等于说在平时的时候呢，澳洲当然就在这区域里面扮演主导者的角色，或者是协助新建的这个规划或者是策划的这个角色。那另外就是就这个军事来讲，或者可能的冲突来讲那过去澳洲大概是这个区域里面大洋洲区域里面最大的国家了那其他这些岛国或者小国根本就不会对它产生威胁。但是自从中国这个利用"一带一路"或者是跟南太平洋国家建立邦交它的目的当然第一个就挖走这个中华民国的邦交国这是第一个就是外交的这个企图第二个当然就是它要兴建这个关键基础设施然后掌握这个关键基础设施希望能够将来做这个海外军事基地。那第三个当然就是在经济方面所以有一些岛屿如果它有一些特殊的能源或者特殊的这个资源的话呢也会成为这个中共目标我们看这个帛琉或者是其他相关的国家它有一些特殊性的这个资源，那当然就会被视为这个重要的这个中国这个拉拢的主要的这个原因或者是主要的这个目的那但是这些国家如果它当然本来就不会对这个澳洲产生这个军事威胁，但是如果这个中国的这个军队或者是这里面它变成这个中国的海外军事基地以后呢 那中国的军队的军舰经常在这个地方出入，或在这个地方进行演习，或甚至于呢，我们知道中共有所谓的反介入与区域拒止它过去反介入区域拒止的范围可能是在这个第一岛链跟第二岛链的海域，也可能在南海，但是它现在呢可以往外延伸到澳洲附近的这个海域，到澳洲附近海域之后呢，就是将来如果澳洲的军队你要介入这个东海、台海或南海的冲突你不是向外航行到这个台湾东部海域以后，它会阻止你，不是在你准备出港或者在你本身的这个国家的港口要出发的时候，它就挡住你了等于说这个叫远距或者是远程的反介入与区域拒止。那当然对澳洲来讲是影响是非常大的那要么你就是跟中国爆发冲突跟战争，那要么你就是停顿你的这个介入行动好，那就整个这个护身军刀演习来讲但目前19个国家，然后这个大家可能会感觉那台湾能不能参与这样的这个演习我们知道台湾呢目前已经能够参与一些可能是非传统安全的演习或者是派遣观察员那这个美国跟菲律宾的演习里面呢这个台湾也派了这个一些观察员或者一些军官或者是有一些东协的演习，我们看到台湾的这个特战部队也有参与有一些大型的活动里面因为过去台湾受限于这个国际空间的限制没办法参加很多这种国际性的军事演习所以没办法掌握这个国际军队作战的一些相关的潮流或者一些相关的思维那未来如果说台湾能够参与类似像护身军刀演习这样的这个演习活动，甚至于呢也可以将我们的这个反舰飞弹系统也拿到附近去试射，跟其他国家相互观摩，或者展现我们的这个军队的这个实力那当然不论是对台湾或者是对周边国家来讲其实都有很大的帮助所以未来应该是要强化争取能够参与这些国际性的这个大型的演习除了这个护身军刀演习，我想最具指标性的就是所谓的勇者之盾演习跟环太平洋演习，因为美国国会不断的在各种的决议案里面这个要求美国的行政部门让台湾参与这种国际性演习，我想这不单单是象征性的意义也让这个提升台湾跟国际相关国家或者是呢美国民主同盟国家之间的这种同盟作战或者是联合作战的这个整合或者是默契那当然是非常有帮助的谢谢。各位小军台湾 plus 的观众朋友大家好最近大家有没有发现这个英国的国防部长他到澳洲去参加这个相关的演习活动，然后在英国的军舰上面航空母舰上面沃尔斯亲王号他接受访问的时候说，如果台湾发生战争，英国已经做好在太平洋地区作战的准备他讲出这个话来，大家就觉得这个非常的这个直接，而且非常的果断的表达英国国防部或者是英国对台海冲突的态度。那我们知道很多国家在谈到台海的时候呢，基本上都会表达说台海非常重要台海安全非常重要，或者是甚至于稍微很主动的会跟中国说这个反对这个中国这个片面改变现状譬如说像澳洲的总理到中国大陆去访问的时候，碰到习近平是这样讲，但是从来没有说一个国家说我已经做好准备了，如果台海发生战争，我已经做好在这个作战准备当然这样的这个说法了它并不是那么针对性的说我要帮助台湾作战，或者是我要介入台海不是他的话意思就是说已经准备好作战，那当然准备好，那要怎么样介入，或者是要怎么样参与那基本上他已经设想在台海冲突里面台湾跟美国因为台湾关系法，那如果美国介入或者是美国参与这样的这个冲突行动，那因为美英之间的这个同盟，或者是呢这个所谓的 澳英美之间的这个三国安全的这个协定，所谓 AUKUS， 那当然会让英国必须要介入必须随着这个美国或者是澳洲来介入。那当然我们知道，这个美国国防部要求澳洲表态啊，这个澳洲其实是说这个是假设性问题不回答，或者是他想要预留这个某种模糊的空间。但是英国的这样的这个表态第一个当然是它可能显示给美国看的但是美国跟英国的这个关税谈判已经谈完了它其实不用透过这样的这个说明来争取跟这个美国有关关税谈判的这个空间或者是转圜但是我觉得它是一个明确态度的表达表示说有可能在这个地方会这个介入冲突有可能必须要为这场战争做准备，所以他的国防预算，所以他的建军应该做什么样的调整所以他一方面可能是对友国跟盟国的这个表态，那另外一方面呢，也显示未来的国防跟这个防卫相关的这个未来的方向来争取预算。那当然我也不排除说他其实因为人在澳洲嘛那前一阵子这个美国才要求这个澳洲要对这个是否介入这个台海冲突表态，或者是未来在台海冲突里面他扮演什么样的角色来表态那英国的这个首先表态，当然这个作为澳英美的三国同盟的这个一份子，那美国要求这个澳洲表态，然后英国已经表态，那接着可能就是澳洲，所以某种程度感觉是英国在这次护身军刀的演习里面表态之后呢主要是希望能够激励或者是鼓励澳洲也跟着做类似的这个表态那当然这个英国它不只是这个表态而已因为我们看到过去几年不论是他派遣这个他的这个航空母舰或者是一些军舰到这个东亚地区来这个访问日本或者访问韩国强化跟这个印太国家的这个合作或者进行演习，或甚至于还巡弋这个台湾海峡，来强调所谓的这个航行自由等等都基本上可以看出来英国是在呼应美国的这个战略方向或者是战略利益来明确的表态，来支持这个美国所主张的航行自由权，或者是呢在强调这个台湾海峡它是公海，它并不是中国的这个内海等等所以他这个明确的表态并不是首次，也不会因为更换了国防部长或者首相以后呢英国这样的这个政策会有什么样的调整跟变化那当然这个英国的这个航空母舰或者是英国军队到印太来它不仅仅是到台湾海峡，因为这个其实印太区域或者是南太平洋区域也有它的这个利益存在的那这个利益呢，一方面就是维持跟民主同盟国家的关系的利益，另外一方面呢就是他自己本身过去在这个地方有一些殖民地然后这些英国身为他的殖民母国，当然对这个后续他的安全有道义上的这个责任。那道义上责任是说这个英国是站在他们一边的那当然我们说这个大英国协国家这个印太里面有一些大英国协国家，或者是澳洲、纽西兰也是这个大英国协国家那当然就是必须要站在一起，或者是如果发生什么样的这个冲突的状态，当然英国也要这个表达态度，或者是提供一些资源的那当然你在这个地方有一些承诺或者有一些利益，那你到这个地方来当然要进行相关的这个联合演习或者是演练的那尤其他派了这个航母战斗群，那他的 F-35，然后这些这个比较这个优质的或者先进的这个海空武力，在这个区域里面碰到一些假想情况他应该采取什么样的作为跟战略应该如何处理那当然要透过这个事先的这个演练那我们看到不只是英国其实像这个法国它同样也有军舰到这个印太区域里面来，甚至于像德国、荷兰等等那它一方面是支持这个美国有关航行自由的这个主张，那另外一方面当然也在强化这个法国或德国跟这些东亚国家或印太国家之间的这个合作还有连结来强化这样的这个 军事训练跟合作啊。那除了这个英国的国防部长啊，他提到说有可能在这个台海作战之外，我们看到一个跟台湾非常友好的国家啊，就是捷克的这个总统帕维尔啊。那捷克总统帕维尔呢他在接受这个亚洲的媒体啊叫日经亚洲新闻专访的时候呢他就提到他提到说涉及台海的这个危机会产生连锁反应，而且要波及欧洲。其实就是说，印太区域里面的这个台海的这个危机或台海冲突，其实跟欧洲是息息相关的，而且会蔓延到欧洲啊。那当然，我们知道，这种蔓延的这个主要的理由啊，不是说这个变成世界大战，不是，而是这两个地方的这个不同的区域的这个冲突，主要的关键国家或者是主要可能挑起冲突国家就是中国跟俄罗斯。那由于中国跟俄罗斯关系的紧密啊，所以未来这个冲突它不会单边发生啊，它有可能是会有策应或者相互援助的这种情况啊。譬如说，我们看到这个俄罗斯攻打这个乌克兰啊，那有很多的这个军备啊，或者是很多的个人装备或者是弹药啊，都是中国不断的源源不绝的提供给俄罗斯啊。那甚至已经很多这个专家都认为就是因为有中国的支持，所以才会让俄罗斯能够打到现在啊。那当然这个中国为什么要支持俄罗斯攻打乌克兰呢啊？那他当然有他的这个利益存在啊。那利益呢，就是他可以从俄罗斯那边得到更多的这个先进的这个军备的技术或科技得到更多的便宜的能源，因为这个俄罗斯被制裁之后呢，它的能源只能卖给中国，只能卖给印度等等少数国家。那当然中国就可以趁这个机会这个大捞便宜这个大赚油水然后买到很多便宜的这个能源。那另外一方面当然我们知道上次这个王毅到欧洲去开会的时候他就很明白的讲出来说中国没办法承受俄罗斯在乌克兰战败的后果那有人说这应该是处心积虑已经准备好所讲出来的话但有人说这个是很白目就是讲出了这个中国个别的这个期望那事实上他的意思也就是说如果这个俄罗斯在乌克兰战败了，那美国它就会集中资源来针对应付或者是打击中国那对中国来讲那就是不可承受之重，而且也有可能被这个美国拖垮或者是打垮所以他王毅很诚实的讲出这个他不希望这个最后成真的这种事实或者是结果但是其实这个大家早就知道了就我们知道其实从这个冷战结束以后呢这个美国有很长一段时间他在寻求这个能够跟他匹敌的对手他过去有个苏联嘛那苏联垮台或者是苏联瓦解之后呢他就变成就好像一个这个武功非常高强的这个侠客就他的这个望向天下，没有一个人可以挑战他，或者是他没有任何一个对手其实对他来讲是蛮孤单的那时候那些国家像俄罗斯、中共他也不想跳出来当做这个美国的对手因为除了自己本身的这个实力跟能力不够之外一被这个美国视为主要的对手，那当然所有的压力通通聚焦在这个国家。所以不论俄罗斯跟中国不断强调这个世界的体系已经从这个两极体系变成一超多强就是美国的超强跟很多的强国就是不愿意冒出来变成一个被美国视为对手或者是主要的这个假想敌国的这样的这个地位那王毅的讲话呢也刚好就凸显了这一点，因为当俄罗斯战败垮台之后呢，中国就会升格为这个美国第一号敌人，那恐怕那个时候呢，不论是在这个科技制裁、在贸易或者是这个外交或者甚至军事这个中国将面临美国更大更多的这个压力那当然这个帕维尔这个讲话呢其实因为他本身就是军人背景出身的这个总统 他非常重视跟台湾的关系。我们知道台湾跟捷克这几年不论是在外交、在军事上的合作是非常密切的，而且这个捷克他身为东欧共产国家，非常了解中共所以他对中共的态度是非常强硬的那尤其这个军人总统他其实也不断的这个强调，那台湾跟这个捷克之间的有的合作也都很平稳、很顺利的进行，甚至有一些国防产业的合作也可能正在进行但是他所提到的这个欧洲跟亚洲的这个连结，或者是呢这个中共跟俄罗斯如果联合起来对这个亚洲或者对欧洲的这个威胁跟影响我想捷克总统帕维尔他提出来但是他不是第一个其实已经很多人也提到这个问题，譬如说这个在5月份的时候的这个北约高峰会，在北约高峰会上面呢这个北约的这个秘书长吕特他也不断的强调他也关注这个台海安全其实这些国家是因为这个俄罗斯跟这个中共之间的这种战略同盟的关系所以他们就会想到说这个现在中国正在协助这个俄罗斯在乌克兰的作战那如果中国在印太区域或者是在台海或者是南海来发动这个侵略行动的时候，那当然这个俄罗斯必须要回报中国所以也会协助这个中国的这种冲突或者是战争不论是策应在这个乌克兰发动更大的这个行动来牵制这个北约跟美国的军队或者是呢派遣他的这个武器或者是他的人员到印太来协助这个中国的作战等等其实都有可能。他同样这个现在中国已经在这样做只不过他是不愿意公开的或者是提供一些非常直接致命性的武器但是如果这个中国的确在印太他想要发动这样的这个行动的话，那俄罗斯会采取什么样的方式来协助，那就很难说，而且他也可能保留他的这个弹性的那当然我们知道这又牵涉到说这个中国跟俄罗斯本身的这个内部的这个情势的发展这个内部的情势发展就是我们看到俄罗斯最近这个发动了很多这个大型的攻势他想要把这个苏美这个东北部的苏美当做这个缓冲区然后在东部乌东地区的这个红军城的占领这个好像也蛮有进展的。那另外他也这个对这个乌南的大城敖德萨发动大量的这个无人机攻击。那乌克兰呢他也大举的反攻，所以在这个地方还是形成这个焦灼的这个状态那形成焦灼的状态当然某种程度也是牵制俄罗斯那这个时候这个以中国的这个国内状况来讲我们也看到这个有关习近平这个权力地位是否稳固有很多的传言，或甚至于呢在四中全会的时候这个习近平会不会交出权力就很难说。但是我们假设这个最坏的状况是习近平他继续掌握权力，而且他有可能延续第4任或者是为了要达成自己本身的这个中华民主伟大复兴或者是这个中国梦、世界梦等等相关的个人的这个梦想他就有可能想要这个解决领土主权的问题，或者是哪一个领土主权问题最容易解决，他就先在那个地方先动手那我们看到最近的这个有一些媒体也在讲这个对中国来讲恐怕要解决这个台湾问题，因为可能要面临跟美国之间的这个冲突所以可能台湾并不是最优先或者是首先要解决的问题，但它有可能往北发展去攻占这个西伯利亚等等。那当然这又跟前面的这个假设说中俄是战略同盟一定会合作，但是我们知道其实中俄虽然这个俄罗斯已经解体，它不再是社会主义国家，那中国还是社会主义国家，但是那种民族性跟这个军事文化是不变的那俄罗斯俗称老毛子他绝对不会说那么这个诚恳的或者是完全没有私心的跟你合作，他有他的这个利益存在。那同样的中国也可能想要利用这个俄罗斯正处于这个乌克兰的战争泥淖的这个同时呢趁机解决这个西伯利亚的问题。因为我们知道 中俄之间本来很多的这个领土主权的这个争议，但是在江泽民时期啊，尤其这个有关黑虾之岛的这个问题已经解决了啊，就是黑虾之岛是在这个黑龙江里面的一个很大的这个岛屿啊，这个过去被这个俄罗斯占领啊，占领之后呢，这个中国虽然声称是这个中国的领土啊，但是一直都没有解决。后来在江泽民时期呢，就透过谈判啊，把这黑虾之岛区分，某些部分就给这个俄罗斯，某些部分就给中国，然后用这个方式来说已经解决这个问题。但是很多人都认为说，那本来就是中国的领土，你给这个俄罗斯怎么会说这个问题解决啊？所以还是有那种希望把这个领土夺回来这种说法啊。但是我们也知道，其实在西伯利亚或者是在合江啊那个地方有很多原来是属于中国领土啊，那中国一直有人是想要把主张把这个领土都收回来的啊，所以才会有说这个要趁这个俄罗斯在乌克兰战争没办法兼顾的时候呢，又加上这个东海、台海跟南海问题很难解决的这个情况之下，还不如出兵这个攻占这个西伯利亚啊。那当然这个并不是官方的这个政策跟态度啊，但是也显示出中俄之间的这个战略同盟其实并不是坚如铁石的啊，还有彼此之间还有一些国家利益的矛盾。那这个国家利益的矛盾呢，有可能因为外在情势的变化跟发展啊，然后凸显出来变成两国之间主要的矛盾啊。但是对台湾来讲我讲我们最重要的就是说不是在于说这些国家本身的这个矛盾，或者是能不能被分化，而是我们自己本身能不能确保我们自己本身的这个国家利益啊。那不论是这个俄罗斯会不会介入这个印太区域的冲突，或者是中俄呢，它会不会各自有一些相互策应的行动然后让这个俄罗斯可以在这个欧洲牵制了北约国家或者是美国，让他们不能介入这个印太或者是台海冲突等等我想这些都不是台湾的所能够考量的就台湾来讲就是不断的强化这个台湾的国防武力透过这种动员或者是透过这个联合演习来强化我们自己本身的在台海的这个作战能力我想这个是最重要的那当然就是对这个台湾来讲那除了这个中俄之间的这个之外呢，那当然美国、日本、菲律宾这最近也一直在强调这个所谓的这个联合演习或者一些演习的合作那虽然台湾没办法直接参与但是一方面应该关注这些美日菲他们本身的这个训练跟这个演习的科目，然后去思考如果台湾参与，或者是如果这个事情发生台湾能够扮演的角色是什么，而且要事先做好准备那我想一些相关的这个作战的准则或者是呢部队的编制跟使用其实现在媒体是非常公开的那如果能够有专门的一组人在分析或在做这样的准备，那当然是最好这样可以减少跟节约很多未来如果说发生最坏的状况你要去沟通协调这样的这个时间的但是总的来讲我们看到不论是印太的国家或者是欧洲国家，其实对台海安全是越来越重视但是我们经常说天助自助者那这些关注这个台海安全的国家并不能保证如果台海发生冲突的时候，它必然会出兵援助或者是出兵介入最重要还是台湾自己本身的这个坚决的态度跟准备那尤其是台湾人民的这个抗敌意志这次的这个汉光演习呢已经针对未来的台海的状况进行很多的演练然后国军官兵也非常辛苦但是我想这还是不够的怎么样针对这个近期的区域情势的变化，还有某些战争的这种发展的这种趋势从这里面呢去融会贯通很多的这个经验跟教训，来用来提升这个台湾的这个军事训练的这个准则或者是思维或者是这个强化台湾人民的这种抗敌意志我想都是非常重要的。 谢谢。